everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps and I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, y'all know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he codes with focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that can end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. With my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a piece, man. I ain't got no time for a piece, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, they you might want to get out of Dodge by the evening. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beat, and they don't leave anything behind at the evening.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating? If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. With my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what this shit is tonight, right? It may not be much to, the non-believers. And I'm not saying that Jaron Boots Ennis is Jesus Christ. I'm not saying the nigga Jesus Christ. I'm just saying that y'all know what this is. This is his test, right? Even though he's been boxing for a while, he's been in the game for a while, he's in his prime. Jaron Boots Ennis, this is his time. He is moving up to 154. 154. This is where the hard crackers are hitting. It ain't shit down there at 147. This gonna show, and I'm not saying Usima Lima is all that, but what I'm saying is this is his journey to becoming a fighter that's going to be special, and this is tonight. Tonight is going to show, is he able to put on the performances? Is he on another level than everybody at 154, or is he just, a regular fighter? And that's why I'm excited, because we're going to get to see that shit tonight. We're going to get to see what's going on. What's going on, Retro Game? What's going on, Devon Wallace? What's going on, Dark Kent in the building? The 300 starting to show up, bro. If we want to blow our chin up, we can. But what I'm more interested in is the boxing purists. That's why I say my 300, because I know they all boxing aficionados. I know they care about the sport. as it's supposed to be. That's why I don't be worried about all these other casuals coming to my shit because they don't know what they're looking at. So we know true boxing history. We know what we're looking at. And tonight we get to see a fighter, saying transcend or, fall, under the pressure of becoming a special fighter. Because after this, even though Jaron Boots Ennis did a lot down at 147, he had like so competition, right? He's not a far ahead like the Andre Wards or the Floyd Mayweathers. He's kind of coming into his greatness late in life. So this is gonna he's starting to step it up. So if he can't perform tonight, if he can't separate himself tonight, he's gonna be like it's kind of like Canelo, right? Canelo when he stepped up, he didn't look so good. That's why black people really couldn't get aboard on with Canelo because he wasn't all that. We saw the shit, how he fought Laura, how he fought. No, nigga, you ain't convincing nobody or nothing, bro. You ain't separate yourself. You don't look like no super fighter. So now tonight, I think this is one of Jaron Boots in his tests. Like, if he can't separate himself from a journeyman, and I hate to say that about, because we don't know much about Usima, but I saw him get pieced up by Aaron McKinnon, and he didn't look like nothing special. So everything, all expectations and the eye test that Jaron Boots in his past, he's got to continue that. Because once you step out there and say, nigga, I am Neo, I am the one, I am the one who's gonna, I'm that dude. Well, you got to prove it to us now. Much as we support you, much as anybody could say I'm the one, right? Anybody could say that shit. But you got to go out there and be consistent, right? You got to go out there and be consistent. And that's what I'm talking about. This is exciting because now you're taking on the obligation of being that dude. So now you got to go out, got to be in shape, can't miss weight. You know what I'm saying? All these things. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and show flair. You got to go out there and show you saw Roy Jones Jr. for 10 years, you know? We saw it, Roy. You saw Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Once you get embarrassed, somebody knock you on your ass, you got to get back up and you got to make it do what it do. And so Jerron got all that shit on him right now. And I seen him in the interviews and I was a little concerned. I ain't finna lie to you. I was a little concerned because your boy looked like, it looked like he ain't, it looked like he didn't like it. He ain't like that shit. He likes staying in his own little bubble. He likes staying. What's going on, King Judah in the building? I know you feeling that shit. I know y'all feeling it. Oh, yes, sir. It's been a while since I've been this excited. I'm like, bro, he's on the precipice of because if he go out there and he let Usima Lima get off on him, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's gonna look bad for him. It's a lot of people already trying to downplay his skills. They already trying to say he ain't shit. They already trying to say that Jaron Boots Ennis is just done. You heard Tim Bradley saying that he ain't confident. He don't believe in himself. I don't believe that shit. I just believe the man is.
Right.
I believe that Matchroom is trying to protect their investment. They want to make sure that they know before they put the money. And really, we don't know what's going on with Matchroom because he's trying to sell his shit to the Turk. So which is another story in itself. But when you building fighters and you're going to put money into them and you're going to put all this publicity and say this is the dude, you want to make sure that he's worth it. And Jaron Boots Ennis, even though he did what he did at 147, this is a whole nother division. When you bully people in the fourth grade and you move up to the fifth grade, it's a whole nother, it's a whole nother power you're dealing with. It's a whole nother bully that you're dealing with. So now we got to see if Jaron can deal with these boys at 154. Can you still be that slick dude? Can you still be the dude that be pausing and shit and doing all the little, switching and all that shit? We got to see if you still on that. We saw Floyd was on that. right? We saw Roy was on that. Are you a generational talent? We saw Crawford, you know what I'm saying, is a different little story. You know, it's always complicated when it comes to Crawford, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Can Jaron Boots Ennis prove? Can he prove that he's a phenom? Can he prove that he's the Black Thunder God of Philly? That's what I want to know. And tonight, you know, we're gonna see. Is he gonna go out there like Virgil Ortiz against Aegis Pavlauskas and get his ass knocked down, and then he stopped talking about following Terrence Crawford? Yeah, yeah. He thought nobody realized that shit. Yeah, you stopped talking about Terrence Crawford after you got your ass for Lumaloon, right? Is that gonna happen to Jaron Boots Ennis tonight? Is that what's gonna happen, or is he gonna go out there and do what he's supposed to do? Sometimes you just got to make it do what it do. Don't worry about this guy trying to, you know, making an exciting fight. Make it a one-sided fight. Go out there and flatline his ass. That way, you shut your critics up. They still gonna have shit to say. They're still gonna say Jaron supposed to do that. He's supposed to go out there and do that. Well, when you go out there and do what you're supposed to do, my nigga, don't go out there and let this dude, you know, show out and embarrass you because you're supposed to be a phenom. You now everybody knows who you are after what 30? What? How many fights this nigga got? 30 fights. Nigga, you supposed to be damn near the Hall of Fame with 30 fights. So don't let Brian Norman Jr. Sr. That's a Junior Senior. God damn it, that's a new title I just created. You don't kind of box Junior Senior. Don't let this nigga talk shit and create the narrative that you ain't that dude. Now you old enough, you seasoned enough, you got your man strength, you got everything. Go out there and show out, my nigga. Go out there and show out because the world is watching Jaron Boots Ennis. Right now, you gotta just like when Loma Chico them come in late in the game and they get all the opportunities. Now you got nothing but opportunities to be Baccarum, to be Virgil Ortiz Jr., to get all these motherfuckers. I don't give a damn who it is. Everybody that went for Fedora, Sebastian Fedora, whoever it is, it's up to you to go out there and destroy these dudes. You can make your legacy. You don't even have to leave 154. As a matter of fact, because you got so much talent right there that you can go out there and you can make your bones at 157, maybe fight one or two fights outside of that division, dominate that, and you in the Hall of Fame, my brother. So I'm rooting for Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm rooting for him, but I hope he's not a Gervonta Tank Davis. I said it. I know a lot of motherfuckers don't like to hear that shit, but Gervonta only block from greatness is that he just don't want it. Isn't that fascinating? He got everything that fighters want. He just don't want it. That's the only thing that's hope. Isn't it amazing to be able to rearrange? If you had superpowers, to be able to rearrange molecules, to be able to fly, but you just don't want to fucking take over the world. You know what I'm saying? You just want to live in a small town, drink beer, and go to the movies. That's Gervonta Tank Davis. He just don't want the shit. So it's not saying that he's not a great fighter. He just don't want to prove that he's a great fighter. Right? For whatever reason, whether he's scared, if he's not scared, it don't matter. That shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You know.
So I think with
go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say with Boots, I know why people got a problem with Boots. You know, they feel like he not, you know, his resume so far, the fighters that he's stepping into the ring with is not up to par. You know, I was talking to somebody earlier on a panel about that. They have a problem with him turning down the Devin Haney fight and the T.O. fight, right? And y'all know I'm a Devin Haney fan, but I don't think for 1 second that Boots ducked Devin because he's scared of Devin or T.O. I think that Boots was way too big for 147 and he didn't want to drain himself to stay there for neither one of them. That's what I think the issue is with that situation. And also, yeah, I got an issue with him not fighting the best so far, but I'm giving him a pass that he taking a tune-up while he moving up to this new weight class. He already signed a fight Virgil Ortiz pool. That's good enough for me. He fight Virgil Ortiz. That's good enough for me because at the end of the day, I don't know why all the people have this problem with Boots when the simple fact of the matter is, to me, Boots is the most talented fighter in boxing right now. Y'all in a rush to watch him whoop people because that's the only thing that's gonna happen. The people that criticizing Boots, the same people you want to see Boots fight, all he gonna do is whoop them when he do. That's the only thing that's gonna happen.
And my thing is, people have more patience for the fighter that they like. They have more patience for the fighter that they like. It's like, yeah, this man, y'all got to understand the politics of boxing. You know, Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford were the guys. You talk about Sean Porter. We're talking about these guys were the guys that were in at the time that Boots were coming up. He couldn't get those fights because they already had other fighters that they had to get up under their other fighters had belts. He had Keith Thurman, you know, other fighters that, you know, once you get in, you just a lowly dude. So he came in at the end. So you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get those fights. So once he got up there, once he did get a belt, you'll mute yourself, King.
Oh, I
I
got
don't
you.
know what that is. Once you get up there, your time hasn't come yet because you know you don't have the cachet. Nobody have an incentive to fight you. Now to boxing fans, they think, okay, this man looks good, so he should be fought. You know what I'm saying? Even if he have a belt or not, or if he do have a belt, boxing fans don't care about that shit. They just want to see you fight this dude that look like he got skills, right? No, you know how it goes. They looking at the fight that's going to advance their name in the industry, right? And that's what's been going on for the last few years because I think boxing fans are starting to get educated on how fighters look at fights, right? So Jaron Boots Ennis, even though he was good, he came up during a dry period at 147, where the top guys were already been there for 10 years before him. You know, they already, you know, got their contracts, everything that they're looking at and they're hope to achieve in the sport is already pushed past what Boots can really offer. All Boots can offer is an ass whipping. Who cares for an ass whipping? I mean, I don't think they're scared of Boots, but that's just a high risk, low reward type of situation. We understand that. So now Boots came up during like a Triple G period in middleweight. Triple G didn't go through there when it was Bernard Hopkins and during the time when Oscar De La Hoya and you know, there was certain middleweights there that was just highly skilled. You know what I'm saying? He came through there when there was motherfuckers on there that you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like he came through there during a safe period, right? So Jaron Boots Ennis is just he's failing through the cracks. So people are criticizing him because he don't have the rivals to give him the notoriety that he needs, right? To become a big star. If you don't have the name, same with Terrence Crawford. Well, Terrence Crawford was different because he did have the names. And he didn't fight them in their primes when they were champions. That's the problem. Waiting to the end till a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, gather the belts. That's pussy punk ass shit to me. But that's just my opinion. You know, it worked out for him in the end because he preserved his body. You know, you can preserve yourself and be better than other people and just be strategic, which is a smart move. I can't deny that shit. That is yeah, or you can go to the gauntlet trying to fight the Jaron Boots Ennises of the world and get your shit broken in, and then you're not half the fighter that you are 5 years from now fighting all the Jaron Boots Ennises and you broke down. By the time you get to a Crawford, you ain't nothing. So I think that there's two sides to this. Two things can be true. You know, you can be strategic and fight the good fights, or you know, you can do it the old way and just go through the gauntlet and become a celebrated hero, but you're gonna fall short because you're not gonna be time is not your friend, especially when you start late, right? As a fighter. Not excusing everything these fighters do on their off time. But if it was a perfect situation where everybody lives a fighter lifestyle, then we could get better results. But unfortunately, life isn't like that. You know, we got to go with what we got. And if Jerron, see, because we don't even know if Jaron Boots Ennis is living a fighter lifestyle. They said Javante Tate Davis don't even live a fighter's lifestyle. So We don't know what's what. We just on the outside looking in. So we never know what's going on with these fighters until they hit the ring and we see the performances before us. But there's a lot of things that contribute to how what we see, and we're not behind the scenes to know what that is, right? Why did Tank let a Lamont Roach, you know, um, make him look that way? You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the hell's going on. We just know how we usually see Tank, right? And then he comes out with, not wanting to fight the other guys, which makes him look even worse. But then you got Devin Haney out there that's willing to fight the best, but he don't look like Tank when he fighting somebody. So all I'm saying is we got to keep it real, man. Let's just keep it real. There's no need to lie about this shit because we all boxing fans, right? In the end, we're gonna see what it is anyway once it come out. So we got a lot of channels out here that like to lie and like to push shit. It's like, bro, go on with that goddamn pimp shit. I ain't no hoe out here. You know what I'm saying? It's like go on with that pimp shit, trying to talk, trying to bedazzle you about what you really see. That's what's going on out here in these streets, right? If you see a motherfucker that don't want to fight the best competition, that's what it is, right? Sometimes maybe it's just a mood. Sometimes maybe it's just a something they're going through, and maybe they'll be back. I don't know. But my thing is that's not what we used to seeing, right? We used to seeing fighters being on point, wanting to go after the best. And some fighters ain't built that way. These fighters today don't seem to be built that way. So that's the question on Jaron Boots Ennis. What kind of dude is he? Is he a legacy fighter? Is he a legacy fighter, or is he just one of these dudes that want the money? You know? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Philly, you know what I'm saying? I saw Rocky and shit. I saw Rocky, you know. That shit was touching, the first Rocky. Um, is he a Clubber Lang? I mean, what's going on? I saw the press conferences, and I don't think Boots like press. I don't think he like dealing. I think he don't. I'm not sure how he's adapting to this new celebrity that he's running into. The writers talking shit on him. Um, I don't know how he's dealing with this shit. How it's going to affect him, you know.
I
So
think personally, but I think Boots, I think he way bigger than what people know he is. Poor. I think he too big for 154 too. I think that Boots really gonna start to be fighting comfortably around, once he get in the 160s, right? And I think that's when he gonna go and fight the tougher competition. Like I said, after Virgil, I think Boots will start to fight the two. Because my thing is, I don't think he's scary at all. I don't pick up that he a scary fighter at all. And on top of that, I think that Boots know he better than everybody else. Because I personally believe he better than everybody else. I don't see no reason why he wouldn't start to knock off everybody he can once he comfortable at a comfortable weight.
what's going on, Deb? I ain't mean to leave you out there. What's going on, my brother?
Hey man, what's going on, Paul? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Man, salute to you. You too, Judah. I agree with you, man.
What's
I
up?
don't think Boost is a scary fighter at all. I think he won all the smoke. And I'm thinking, imagine if he clears out Fundora, because I'm hearing there's the chance he can get the fight with the winner of Fundora and Keith. If he can beat Fundora and style on
That
him,
fight got
and then,
canceled though. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that fight got
No, you're
canceled
right. It
from
sure
door.
did. That
did it
and
get
the damn
canceled or
Parker better
postponed? I thought
be
it got
fighting.
postponed.
Oh, I ain't know. I thought it was canceled.
I heard he was going to get the winner of that, and then let's say he can get Virgil after that. You really can't say nothing about Boots. I think he should go that
Right.
route. I agree with you, Judah. He got all the skills, and like you said, when he moves up to 60, he gonna be even more dangerous.
Right. I just don't know. I don't understand the heat. No, I understand the heat because I got to be consistent because y'all know I'm all about fighting the best, right? So, but with Boot's situation, it's like, I mean, yes, I'm ready for him to take on the tougher competition, but at the same time, with his skill level, it's like the only thing that's gonna happen when he start to fight better people is he gonna whoop them too.
Yeah,
Like I don't see nobody beating him.
yeah,
And you got to think about it, man. It's like it's always that one motherfucker. Like we got to see him what he looked like against Virgil Ortiz. Because Virgil Ortiz is in a groove. He beat the wood choppers. The Boca Chucks and the Madronov. I didn't think I wanted this. I thought maybe them guys were gonna handle Virgil Ortiz, but Virgil Ortiz, he won. Well, he didn't like Boca Chuck dropped him a couple of times. So that lets you know that Virgil Ortiz Jr. is human. He is not a juggernaut, bro. And if anybody can expose that, that's Jaron Boots Ennis. Um, because Jaron Boots Ennis gonna give his ass them angles. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna move them feet. And I don't know. I just want to see that fight so bad. I want to see because we don't need all these other fights. We don't need all these other fights. All we need for the who's gonna be undisputed at 154, I think is the fight between Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis. Now maybe I'm short sighted on that, but somebody bring up another name. I know y'all thinking for that for Sebastian Fedora, but I don't think he all that. I don't think he all that.
You
I
know what
think
fight I'd like to see, Pool? I'd like to see
mm,
Boots try and get Charlo. Because that's the real lineal at 54. Ain't nobody beat
yeah,
Charlo
he's
for his
lineal,
belts.
but that bitch, he done been so soft. I mean, bro, he done disappointed me, bro. That was my nigga. That was my nigga. But he done, it's like I don't know what he doing. What is he doing? I mean, he disappointed me when he went out there versus Canelo and put on that performance. I'm thinking he's more brilliant than that. And oh, bro, I don't even want to talk about that nigga, man. It's like, oh, Lions only, the whole brand. It's like, what is up with them dudes? What is up with black people now in boxing? I don't get it. It's like what Jamal is doing. Oh, bro, I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's like Black Panthers that done betrayed the goddamn crest, nigga. I'm just like, Jesus, what they doing? It's like I don't get it. It's like,
I
yeah,
don't
he's
think
a lineal. He's a lineal, but why is he not fighting somebody to show that, the Lions on oh God, bro.
I
I'm
think with
sorry, bro.
Charlo, I think with Charlo, I feel you though, Pool. But with Charlo, bro, this is what I say about that fight when I watched with Canelo. He was, bro,
Oh,
the size difference and the power was too much for him, bro. And he don't have them angles and that craftiness Crawford did. And I think it was too much for him to deal with, bro. Like he couldn't get away from that power like Crawford could against Canelo. And he crumbled. Like,
I don't know
I
why
don't,
he started out a boxer. The
right,
reason why you trained from the time he trained with Andre Ward. He trained with
right.
Andre Ward. So what's not clicking? You on a different level because you train. Andre Ward brought you in your brother's shoes. I wish you would have kept them shits.
But if you
I'm sorry.
followed the training camp, man, Charlo wasn't focused and locked in like he usually is. Like if
Yeah,
you go look at his
that's what I'm
training
talking
camps,
about.
the
Why
training
though?
camps he had with the Tony Harrison rematch, go look at some of the work he did for that.
Yes,
And then, yeah, in this training camp, they just showed him just chilling, really.
yes. What is up with that? Why you wait to the end? You don't trade your whole life. We saw you go through. You let me tell you something. Jamel Charlo had the hardest undisputed run I've ever seen. But then he got to the end, and it's just like he let off the gas. I thought he was the bad boy. He was that lion that was going to be a problem. And
Y'all think he,
when he
oh, my bad.
go ahead. Well, when he
I'm
came
saying y'all,
across, I saw him kind of capitulating to Canelo. Anytime he thought he was going to get the fight, he was just kind of submissive, and I was just like, "What the fuck? What? Why is he speaking like this against? I mean, to Canelo, like he just happy to get the fight." I was like, man, what I'm saying? This shit
yeah,
is
you did
all.
say that. I remember you said that too. You was the only person I heard because when you said, I thought you was reaching, but you were the first person I heard say that. You was like, bro, this dude talking like he just happy to be there, and
Oh
I ain't
my
think nothing
god!
of it. I ain't think nothing of it at the time, but shit, I mean, it might be on to something.
But we all seen how he talked when he wanted to fight Canelo, and everybody know. I mean, if you could look on the outside, you say, okay, we saw how Hagler was with Spence. I mean, not Spence, but Sugar Ray Leonard. When you really want that fight, you know when a fight is hungry, and he didn't seem hungry, bro. He just seemed like he wanted the money. He wasn't training like that. He wasn't training like Crawford trained for Canelo. And I was just like, why are these dudes doing this shit, man? They fucking up the sport with this half-hearted shit. Even though they done gave a lot of their life to training and getting the way they are. And I won't take Undisputed away from Jamel Charlo. I respect him. But you on the next level. It's almost like we want more for the fighter than they want for themselves because they have put in all this work after all these years. And you're like, bro, you there now. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Jamel Charlo should have did what Terrence Crawford did. And I think Terrence Crawford knows what a lot of us don't know, that these guys, they don't have that extra gear to push forward. I think he knows that. The Errol Spence Juniors, and they don't have that extra gear, what I'm saying, to be that competitive, to make up things in your mind to make you motherfucking push that extra rep to make you not want to lose. I think Terrence Crawford just fucked up enough to keep pushing himself to like he's just trying to prove himself. You keep that hunger going. I don't think the other guys got that. I'm looking at him and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Why y'all giving up now? Why y'all just going out there like go out on your shit? I mean, I could say that because I'm sitting at home. I could say go out on your shit, man. But I'm just like I'm disappointed with the Charlos. I'm disappointed, and I think some of these fighters they know this shit. Like Terrence Crawford is in camp all the time. Once you get out of that gym and you're not close to increasing your craft and trying to get better, I just think you lose something, man. And I don't think they got the discipline to do it. And I wish I could interview these guys. They probably wouldn't like me because I give it to them. I'd be like, look, the dude is just he's more disciplined than y'all. The team on point. Your team fell apart. It's like I don't know what's going on. It's like why they shit falling apart at the end, man. It's like and I'm just disappointed with Jamal. What the hell is going on with Jamal? I'm here in Dallas and they're talking about an Errol Spence Jr. fight with Jamal Charlo. I don't even know how good that shit's gonna be now. And I'm just like, I'm questioning. It should be off the chain or whatever, but you just don't know where these guys are, how much they got left in the gas tank. And they didn't even do 15 rounds. They didn't do half the shit that the Sugar Ray Robinsons did. Um, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just trying to figure it out. Why the Tank Davises are retiring now. I'm confused. You know, I mean, you had the heart to put all this time and effort to get into this point. So why are you leaving out now? And why are you leaving out in this fashion? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just going through my mind with this shit. This shit is crazy. So now we got a new prospect, not a new prospect, but we got Jaron Boots Ennis. Now we're questioning him. Like, is he going to be a special fighter? Is he just going to be a money grabber? Is he just going to get people interested enough just so he can make big fights and make big money and go haul ass like Keith Thurman? You know, I'm glad they canceled that shit. I'm glad they canceled that Keith Thurman fight because it wasn't going to be shit anyway. I come on here and I tell y'all, Keith Thurman ain't going to fight. He was supposed to fight Jaron Boots Ennis first for the PBC. It's supposed to be their opener. Then he's supposed to fight Tim Tszyu. That didn't work. Everybody talking about Keith Thurman is the most unluckiest man in boxing history. No, I just think he puts. I just think he ain't on that. He just ain't that dude no more. He ain't the unified champion at 147 no more.
If you
He
be
ain't got.
honestly, Paul, Keith, the reason why that whole division got stalled out because he was unified, and that's when
It didn't
Spence
fight
was on the
nobody.
come up,
Yeah,
and he couldn't fight nobody because he kept getting. We said he was injured on his elbow and shit, but that motherfucker fought Pacquiao, Barrios, and some dude reached 3 fights in like 7 years. something crazy like that.
And I'm just like, every 3 years he pop up to make a couple of dollars. It's like you expect motherfuckers to believe that you finna come back and fight for Sebastian Fedora, the most dominant uh phenom at 154. That shit is preposterous.
Hey,
It's
Keith,
like, go
Keith
sit
like
your
Donald
ass
Trump
there.
though. He like Donald Trump though, bro. When he do start talking, they be believing him though, but they be believing everything Keith Thurman be telling them though. They be eating that shit up.
You goddamn right. That nigga Keith Thurman, man. I don't even know how he look. How would he look in this fight?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, you hit that nigga to the body, that nigga out of here, that nigga running. Ain't nobody got wheels like Keith Thurman. It's like that nigga start running, that nigga like the road runner. You know, you can't catch him for shit. It's like I'm trying to get my damn link to work because they done shut
But
down.
I thought it was Fundora that pulled out though.
It could
Yeah, it
have
was
been,
on door. Yeah.
but isn't
Yeah, it
that
was
weird
Fundora.
though? Isn't that weird? I think he got injured or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it was a hand injury, but a lot of people they trying to say. I was talking to somebody earlier. They were trying to say, well, you know, that's the oldest trick in the book to say you hurt your hand. But man, Fundora don't seem like the type that'll duck. He seemed like the type that'll go in there and take his loss like a man too. Like he don't strike me as somebody who's scared to lose.
That
Nah, that
nigga,
was a big fight for Fundora. I don't think he pulled out. I agree. That was a big Keith Thurman's a good name for Fundora. You know, if he goes in there and washes
that
Keith.
nigga look like a math tutor. He look like he tutor math.
Right. He do, like he really do though, like a substitute teacher. You're right. But again, I don't think he pulled out though. So they got people that's trying to accuse him of this not a real injury. But I don't see Fundora as the type that'll fake an injury to get out of fight with nobody.
Not against Keith Thurman.
Yeah, not against Keith.
Right.
Hell no.
Not if it was anybody else. Maybe that because a lot of people ain't talking about that Abbas Barrero guy. Ain't nobody talking about. I'm talking about it.
Oh yeah, he nice.
That dude is a motherfucker. I'm trying to tell y'all, he coming for ass. And I'm not saying that he's gonna be undisputed, but he's gonna unify somebody. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you guys think about what's going on at 60? They got Laura and Janabek unifying 3 of the titles. You think they making those moves to invite that Crawford fight?
Well, I think Crawford
Man.
gonna try to get undisputed because he's an opportunist, and I
Right.
think he's gonna try. I think you know, it's going. What's his name gonna beat Laura? Laura old as hell. Laura old. He gonna definitely get that WBA. He gonna rip that up off from Janabek. It's definitely gonna rip that up off him. Because
And
his
guess
father time is undefeated. You know, I think
but,
Laura would have got him if he was younger, but he's just too old.
and what I hope happened, how y'all said that, you know, Crawford might try to position himself to go up there and be an opportunist like he is and get another undisputed. I hope Boots chase it one of them belts down too. I hope he got to go through Boots to do it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Boots is ready. Well, he should be because he's got enough experience. Um, he's got enough experience, but it comes down to tactics with Crawford. You know, you got to be up for the you got to be up for the moment with Crawford, and you got to be able to execute on fight night with Crawford. So when it comes to that, I think Boots needs that kind of experience. I think the fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr., if he goes out there and be successful and he have a couple of big fights, you know, where he wins in a dominant fashion, I think he'll be ready for Crawford, at least on the limelight level. And that's what he's going to have to contend with because Crawford has so much experience through the years where he can operate under the big lights. And I think that's going to be the biggest deal. 'Cause I don't think it's the skill set so much as having everything on the line. You know, saying for Boots Ennis, he's not used to having the status and everything on the line. You know, saying that if you fuck up, that this is you going back down. You know, what I'm saying there's nothing to lose in the Crawford because he's the best, right? But to have everything on the line and being able to execute on that level, you know, when you come across a Terrence Crawford in the ring, that's what's going to tell if Boots is next level, and I don't think he's ready for that right now because he haven't had those tests.
And he
And
can't fight aggressive like he does with Crawford. He's gonna have to do a lot more boxing, a lot more mirroring, which is a fight I'd like to see Boots
yes,
fighting. I
yes,
want to see him in that style. He's just so much better, like Judah said, over these other guys. We really haven't seen him unlock the 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 pure boxing, meaning that you're not gonna touch me and I'm gonna tag you all night long. He can't fight Crawford that aggressive. That aggressive
right.
style, that front foot style, he gets stopped. He got to
But
show
yeah,
a
one thing I
lot
and
more
want to say,
boxing.
one thing I want to say about that though, like I agree with you on that front, but on the opposite end, bro, like again, could Boots be a little too inexperienced for Crawford? Yeah, that's possible. But I do believe that where Crawford is in his career, because Crawford, this not a prime Crawford either. A lot of people don't realize that this not prime Crawford. This man is older, right? At this point in his career, bro, what Boots represent, Crawford ain't never seen that before either. Like this would be, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro. Boots would be the toughest challenge for Crawford, bro, at this point.
I agree with
People try
that.
to say it was Canelo. People try to say it was Canelo, but Canelo was not nowhere near the threat that a Boots Ennis would be if Crawford stepped in the ring with him.
and
Yeah,
you know what proves that point? What proves that point is when he fought Madronov, because
Yeah,
Madronov was patient. You know, if you don't just rush in and give
exactly.
Crawford openings, and because he's a sharpshooter, you got to
right,
recognize you got to recognize what you're fighting against. You know what I'm saying? It's like fighters who think they could just go in there and just ramrod Crawford, they're gonna get pieced up. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Thinking he weak and stuff and all that. If you leave yourself space for openings, Crawford is gonna take it because he's calm enough. He's been in enough big fights to where he's not gonna miss that. And
Right.
what Madronov did was like what Dev said. He was mirroring him. He was fainting. He wasn't rushing in. He wasn't giving Crawford all these openings and stuff. And he was hitting Crawford. He just didn't have enough power to really hurt Crawford like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And
if go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna
Go
say, and
ahead.
another thing pulled to back what you were saying, like Crawford, like you say, you mirroring him, and another thing that nobody ever did was Crawford never fought somebody because he was always the one setting traps. Boots would be the first person he stepped in the ring with that if you make a mistake, Boots gonna capitalize on that just like you would capitalize on his. Like Crawford never seen it. Everybody Crawford fight, he didn't fight tacticians that can make him pay for his mistakes also. The closest you got to that was what you just said with Madrimov. Madrimov ain't nowhere near the trap setter that Boots would be.
Yeah.
Far as like, think about it. The mistakes that Crawford did make that Madrimov was able to just touch him with. Like Madrimov wasn't able to land nothing of significance. He was just able to touch Crawford more than we've seen. But somebody
Right.
like a Boots Ennis, them same mistakes is gonna get you, it's gonna get you rocked. Boots gonna land something significant when you make a mistake.
And a good thing to beat Crawford, if you have a nice jab and you use your jab, you can catch Crawford up the middle. Well, I think that Janabek fight is going to be interesting because Janabek got a nice jab. It's a power jab.
Janabek a wood chopper though, right? That's a wood
Yeah,
chopper, right, Pool?
he got some power
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think a wood chopper gonna beat Crawford, bro.
Well,
But
Janabek, if you watch Janabek, watching him, he got some good skills. You
Yeah, he
know, he
nice.
got some. He's nice, bro. I think he got the experience. It's just do we have the dog when he meets another dog? Crawford got that dog, man. He's very resilient. Um, can When you meet another dog that's just as determined as you, is he gonna fold? Who gonna fold first?
right.
Can he take what Crawford gonna dish out? Catch him with them shots that he don't see, punching in between the shots, got this hand speed to keep up with him. When you meet another athletic fighter that's got the same athletic ability as you, how you gonna react to that shit? And I think a lot of fighters fold. Like that's why we're waiting to see T.O. and Shakur Stevenson. That's why that's such a good matchup. Because when
I
you
don't
don't
think that fight
possess,
gonna.
you don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't, bro. I do not see T.O. Bro, if T.O. fight Shakur Stevenson, bro, my whole world gonna flip upside down if that fight actually happen. I just don't
But
see that happening, bro.
that's the damn problem with boxing today. That's a problem right there because these guys don't want to. They just don't want to do it, man. They don't want to get in there and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Against guys that are just as good as they are athletically. You know, that athletic ability is a big advantage. You know, and Shakur, like Foster was saying, he has a problem when guys are just as athletic with him. We saw Edwin what his name? Santos. What's his name? What's that guy name?
De Los Santos.
Devin Santos. We saw how he react when there's another athletic fighter. Now Floyd, when he met another athletic fighter like Zab Judah,
Yeah.
he had to figure that shit out. You know, even though he dominated the first half of the fight, you found out he was a front runner. But you got to go in there and you got to find that shit out. He didn't. Well, I don't know if he knew it before it, but he had to go figure that shit out. And these fighters, they don't want to figure that shit out. They want to go in there knowing that they can win.
Right. That's my
That's
only issue with the whole Crawford situation. I'm not taking nothing from Crawford, bro, but a lot of people don't realize that I think Crawford been very strategic in his career. So this Hall of Fame career that he done carved out, and he the only 3-time undisputed. It was extremely strategic of when he decided to fight certain people. And again, the best fighters he ever fought in his career, he fought them all when they wasn't at their best. So my whole thing with Crawford is I do think Crawford good, but what really got me on this tip bull is lately I've been hearing people trying to say stuff like, well, you know, Crawford better than Mayweather. I think that's very disrespectful, bro, and it's no comparison to the Mayweather versus Crawford. And I'm always point out the fact that he chose to fight people when they wasn't at their best. Man, Mayweather may have been strategic down the line, but Mayweather ended up fighting them all. Like Mayweather fought them all before he left, all of them.
Man, I agree. That Spence and Crawford fight, I think that's what really turned boxing, because that was the fight that was supposed to be the Hagler Hearns, the throwback, 2 pound for pounds going at it. And I think that put a sour taste in boxing, because ever since that fight, anybody's fair game to me. Like, because I did not expect an ass whooping like that. That was
Yeah,
an
well,
ass whooping, man.
kind of like, Spence was removed from that accident, right? And the accident might not have been the biggest thing, but they got reports coming out of his camp and boxing people that got real connections, right? You know what I'm saying? Like real connections. A lot of people agreeing that the consensus that Spence did have a rib injury during that fight. Like, do you remember? Tell me if you remember this when you watched that fight. If you can't remember, go back and look at it. When they showed the warm-ups, right? When you had the warm-ups right before Spence and Crawford fought, you know how usually you go to the back. They showed Crawford in his dressing room warming up. When they went to Spence's dressing room, he was sitting down. When you ever seen Spence sitting down, not warming up before he stepped into the ring to fight? They were saying that his ribs was hurt so bad he couldn't hit the pads.
Yeah, they showed him trying to hit the pass with James. You saw that, and he was missing. And James
He was
said, "Cut the
missing.
camera off."
Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
So
Something was
what I'm
wrong with
saying
him. Yeah,
is
something was wrong. My point is, like, it put a sour taste in boxing, because we waited so
yeah.
long for that fight, and that's what we got, you know. And so moving forward, anything can go for me, because that clearly was something was wrong with him. Like you said, that fight shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened. It
Shouldn't have
shouldn't have
happened.
happened, bro. But my thing is, like I say, that's not Crawford's fault that he was hurt, but I am pointing to an overall repeating theme in Crawford's career. All of his best wins came against fighters not at their best. Because even you look at this Canelo, everybody talking about, this the biggest win in his career, but shit, he fought the worst version of Canelo that ever existed. Like, this is nowhere near prime Canelo. Nowhere near. Now, I don't even like Canelo, but I'm telling you, Canelo of the past is way better than the Canelo we looking at now.
But that comes from fighting all them damn easy fights. That when you out there and you fighting money fights, and you fight network fights where you can just pad your record and pad your bank account. That's what happens to you. You lose your edge.
Right now, Pooh, I want to say this to a lot of people who don't be paying attention, or they try to overlook it, because I don't like Canelo, right? I don't like Canelo for real. And I feel like, he did do a lot of cherry picking toward the end of his career. But make no mistake, when I first saw Canelo years ago, when he first stepped on the scene, Canelo was a bad motherfucker, bro. For real.
Oh, Canelo
You
break
had
your
to,
ass down.
you
He
had to
break
be
your
Was
ass
good,
that
down.
bro.
was that was that before or after he fought age Shane Mosley?
Right around
Or was
that
that
time. Right
It
around
was
that
right
time.
around that time. Well, this is what I'm gonna say, Pool. He did fight at age. What I'm trying to say, all I'm talking about, the talent that Canelo actually had, his reflexes, what he brought to the table. But you had to be damn good to, but not know anybody can beat a prime Canelo. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Crawford didn't fight a prime Canelo. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is not hating. From what I've seen from Crawford throughout his career, I don't know if he would beat a prime Canelo. I
You
don't know
talking
it.
about Canelo at 60. I agree. Canelo at 60 was man, he was hard to deal with.
I'm just talking
yeah,
about that real fast, reflective.
Right.
Bro, at one point, bro, Canelo was, he never had good feet, but he was good from the waist with dodging punches. Bro,
right.
Canelo was dangerous. He was like a
Yeah.
Tyson. Canelo was like a Tyson nigga. Canelo was the type of nigga that when he's stalking you and he moving from side to side, if you miss, the next punch he hit would stop you. Like that nigga was dangerous, bro.
Yeah, he was. He was a bad boy. But I never got the idea that he was this dominant force. You know, when he fought Lara, when he fought Trout, I knew boxers was his problem. I knew boxing, people who box, when you saw Floyd Mayweather box, I knew he had a problem with boxing and that he was never, I was surprised to see him blow up the way he did. I
Right,
really was. I couldn't believe it because he had a problem with boxers.
right.
But
I
I
when I
will
agree.
say
seen
this about
when I saw he had to control everything so he couldn't let certain fighters in, then that's when boxing went sour for me. Because
Right.
I knew he wasn't gonna fight nobody. I knew he wasn't gonna fight anybody that was gonna be able to beat him. He wasn't gonna why didn't he fight Boo Boo Andrade? That's the reason why he
Right.
didn't fight Boo Boo Andrade, right?
Yep. Yep.
They waited him out. You know what I'm saying? Till he lost his passion. Because he knew the politics. He couldn't beat the politics of the boxing.
I'm just
He
saying
had
that
to
Crawford.
go ahead.
Crawford career though, pulled. I'm just keep saying this. I know I'm pissing people off, bro, but I'm standing on this. One day people gonna look back and they may see it. One day the boxing historian, they look back at Crawford career. It was carefully constructed, bro, and his best wins came against fighters past their best time. Like he never fought none of these
No,
dudes
I
at
get
their
what yeah,
best.
I've made that argument myself so many times. You know that on
Yeah,
on, on this channel. I made that argument, but I'm so past Crawford because like Canelo, once people start eating the bullshit, it's like what can you say after that? What can you say after that? It's like once people start, the media start eating that shit up, and they're like, "Oh, Canelo, he fought so many good people," but they don't tell you that these dudes were old. These people was past their prime. That don't even matter. But then when it comes to the black fighters, everything matters all of a sudden. When they fought them, what they ate for breakfast that morning. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Everything, every fucking thing comes into play when it's the black fighter that's winning. You know.
what's crazy about Crawford though? When he moved up to welterweight, right? He got the title from Horn, which was cool.
Right.
Then he had a defense against Benavidez. Okay, cool. You get your title defense. Do you know he fights every year, so you only get him one time a year. There was a 6-year stretch where his opponents were Benavidez, Amir Khan, Kaviaskes, Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and David Avanesian. That's 6 years of fights right there. And those are the names he had. That's my disappointment with
Right.
Crawford. It's like, so
Right.
we gotta wait for you once a year. You only fight once a year. And every time you announce the fight, it's like, we don't want to see that shit. That was
That's
my
what I'm
problem
saying,
with
bro. Like
him in his prime. I'm like, yo, he could have upped it, man. Like, if we honest, he could have upped his competition for sure.
he could have upped it at 147, bro, when he got to 147, and you let Spence go collect all them 3 belts by himself. Why wasn't you trying to get some of the belts also? Why was you just waiting on Spence to collect them all?
You said it,
That
man.
Because
just make me
Strategy. It was
because
a
the
strategy.
propaganda was that nobody wanted to fight him, that the PBC matchmakers did not want Crawford. But he walked it, but they don't know they offered him 14 million They don't. They never say nothing about the 14 million that they offer him to come over to the PVC to fight. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They don't talk about the deals that they offer Crawford. Crawford got up and walked away. What he want right now? He want $100 million to fight his next fight. Crawford is a bastard to deal with. He walked away from the Spence negotiations to go
Yeah, see,
fight David
Crawford don't
Avenue.
negotiate. Crawford don't negotiate. What he do is he give you his stipulations, and if you don't meet them, he walk away. He don't negotiate.
Right. So people are not holding him accountable, because to see the fight, he's not going to fight unless everything he wants is met. You know,
You know what's crazy about all that? He made his most money when he left Bob Arum and did business with Al Heyman on the back
but
end.
people were telling him that
Made his
shit from
most.
before he signed in 2018. People's like, just leave Bob Arum and you do your own thing, and then everybody would have been in their prime.
Oh, somebody,
Everybody would have been.
look, I ain't mean to cut you. I ain't mean to cut y'all, but somebody in the comments said exactly what I was thinking. At first, when I was saying about Canelo, I think the other brother on the panel, he was saying the Bud that fought at 160. But this might be the same Canelo, because I don't keep up with that close. But the Canelo that fought Triple G that first time, I don't know if Bud beat him.
Yeah, that was
I don't know if
160
he beat that.
Canelo. He was
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know if Bud beat that Canelo.
Yeah, but well, I mean, I'm trying to think of it. I'm
Well, you
thinking about
remember
the
what
fight.
Canelo just said after the fight? He said he saw the shots he wanted to hit Crawford with. His
Hey, y'all
body
keep
just
it
wouldn't
going.
let
I
him
got
hit
I
it.
got to I got to subscribe to the Zone. I'm trying to find fucking streams and I can't
Yeah, they
find
about to
no
fight right
streams.
now. They about to fight right now.
What's the well? You got the Zone. You got the Zone.
Yeah, I got the zone.
I got y'all go keep it going. I got to go subscribe to this shit real quick.
I got
Yeah,
you.
but
But like
Julius,
I
you
was saying
remember
though,
what
bro, at 160. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, remember what Canelo said after the Crawford fight, right? He said he saw the shots he wanted to hit Crawford with, his body just wouldn't let him.
Right, and
So
I believe that, bro. Like I believe
yeah,
that because listen, the thing is, bro, with like I say with the Crawford, it's not no hate, bro. This is me really analyzing what I seen from Crawford, bro. He never fought nobody at their best, and all these people that's trying to, oh, he better than Mayweather and this and that, this and that, and bro, I'm telling you, bro, his best win right now they trying to say is Canelo, but this is the worst Canelo that we have ever seen. This is the worst Canelo that has ever existed, right? So again, that 160 Canelo that was fast, dangerous, had a better gas tank. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Crawford beat that Canelo, dog. And if he do, it would damn sure wouldn't be as easy as he made it look. You know what I'm saying?
that Canelo, he would not fight him on the inside. He'd have to actually box that Canelo the whole fight. You know how he
Right.
fought Canelo on the inside in his previous. He couldn't do that shit with that version.
But what
He,
made that 160 Canelo so dangerous, and even the one Floyd fought, what made him so dangerous? Yeah, you can outbox him, right? But the nigga was so quick and explosive that if any mistake you made, Canelo can still, even though you the better boxer, he was still dangerous enough to make you pay if you did
right.
make a mistake. If you threw a lazy jab, he was countering you.
He had openings in this fight. He just didn't use his jab. When he used his
Yeah,
jab in his past fight, he was touching Crawford. You see, the punch that's going to get Crawford, you go back and watch even the Sean Porter fight, it's up the middle. It's up the middle. Sometimes he's a little late when he puts his hands out to parry, and you can catch him in between those shots. That's why I had Spence winning the fight. I thought Spence was going to box Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Take his time
right.
with Crawford. I didn't think he was just going to press him like that. But to the other point, maybe he was hurt and he just kind of wanted to hurry up the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew he didn't have, what it took to beat him because he was hurt or something. But
I
I
think
don't
I
know,
think
man.
the fan bases put a lot of pressure on Spence. Spence knew he should have pulled out that fight, but he knew the
Right.
backlash that was gonna come from putting out that fight.
Man.
They was gonna bury him. They was gonna drag him, bro. Like shit. Bernard Hopkins was attacking him when he pulled out of the Manning fight with a real medical, reason. You see what I'm
Oh, man.
saying?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So he didn't want to. He know, bro. Like they had a lot of people that hate Errol Spence, bro, and that's why I don't fuck with Bernard. Well, I ain't trying to curse on this, but that's why I don't mess with Bernard Hopkins, bro. I do not like Benoit Hopkins because it seemed like he only got smoke for black fighters. He don't accuse the non-black fighters of nothing. He never have no bad takes of them. If you're not black, he don't have no bad takes for you. All he got is love and support if you're not a black fighter.
Let me put this PSA out there. They done shut down all the streams, man. They have shut down all the streams. I'm pissed because I mean I'm in the last minute. I have to buy this, bro. I'm not. I mean, oh god, damn. I'm just like, bro. If anybody know a stream out there, put it in the chat, man. Cause oh lord, bro, it's like I'm at the last minute. Oh, and I'm not. Oh man, I can't.
Yeah, they in the ring now. They done did their
Yeah.
ring walk. Well, I know Boots in the ring. The other dude in the ring too.
Yeah, they about to start round 1.
Oh yeah, they
Oh.
taking Boots shirt off. They taking Boots shirt off.
And my damn, they done shut down the damn stream that I usually use. They done shut down my shit. Oh man, this is crazy. I've never had this happen before.
You got it. They about to touch gloves, boy. You gonna have to hurry up. They about to touch gloves.
Y'all just keep it going, man. Cause I can't like get on this shit. Like they done shit. The zone is bitches, man. They shut down everything.
I think
I mean,
Boots about to beat the hell out this dude, bro.
I hope so.
He fighting a bigger, healthier Boots than we ever seen, bro. Like, and I still don't think Boots is as healthy as he's supposed to be, but Boots about to hurt the dude. Especially if I never seen Lima fight. If he a come forward fighter, he getting stopped, y'all. He getting stopped.
Yeah, he coming forward right now. I think it's like 30 seconds in. He coming forward. But Boots, yeah, he look good. He look good.
Bro, Boots so fast and athletic, but that shit crazy.
Yeah. I agree with you, Judah. If he fought Crawford, this would be the first fighter Crawford can't afford to slip up with. Because
Right.
Boots is fast enough to catch him at all angles. And Boots uses his jab too. When he wants to, his jab can be just as lethal. So if they make that fight at 60, man, that'll be a treat. I'd love to watch that. If Crawford's not too old by then.
And that's the only pass I'm giving Crawford, bro. I'm not just somebody who just Crawford, bro. I understand at Crawford age, bro. Fighting Boots, but that's what I'm trying to point out to his fans who think he invincible. Bro, fighting Boots right now would be him dropping his nuts. Bro, you know how bold you would have to be for Crawford to be damn near 40 and fight somebody like Boots? Like most people don't do that. Most people don't do that at 37. They're not fighting the Boots. Oh shit! Oh,
Well,
Boots!
he about to stop him.
Boots dropped him. Pull. I told you, if you walk forward towards Jaron Ennis, he is gonna hurt you. You cannot walk to this man. You can't do it.
Yep. He about to get his ass stopped.
Well, you know,
Boots back on him, but he's stumbling. He's stumbling. Pull. Boots about to stop him. The ref gonna stop it. He going down again. He down again. Pull. First round, 2 knockdowns. Jaron Ennis.
Damn, he did.
Well, I'm glad I didn't.
I'm
glad I didn't end up buying this shit. You know, it's like
he gonna get a TKO. Right. How much time they got? He about to get a TKO. He gonna drop him again. Boots walked him, bro. This dude's supposed to Boots walking him to the corner, working him. Boots, the referee stopped it. Pull is over with.
Wow! I'm glad I didn't buy that shit. But what do y'all think?
He beat the shit out of him, like I said, bro. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen, bro. I knew it. Bro, when they told me he was fighting a dude that's aggressive and come forward, the first thing I said is he getting stopped. When I thought about it myself, I say this about to be the healthiest Boots that we ever seen. I said, oh, he gonna beat the shit out of him. And that's exactly what happened.
Boots didn't even break a sweat. He ain't even break a sweat.
The best thing about it, he had that kind of performance. He needed that kind of performance. Because if it was anything else, he would have got heavily criticized by being a fraud.
Right.
They would have put that fraud title on his ass. They would have put that fraud tag on his ass so bad. You know, I think everybody expected Boots to go out there and do what he did, but he needed his personification needed this. His image needed to be this. So when
I'm
he
sorry.
goes
I
into
keep
the next
saying,
fight, just like Tyson, everybody thought Tyson was this fucking powerhouse. You need that reputation. As you coming out there to seek and destroy. I think this is going to help Jaron against Virgil Ortiz Jr. What you think?
Oh
yeah, he
man, he
gonna beat the
gonna do
shit out of
Virgil.
Virgil
He
too,
gonna
though. He gonna
yeah,
beat
he
the shit out
gonna
of Virgil too, though.
it's gonna be a good fight for the first few rounds when they feel each other
Hmm.
out. But yeah, this dude is
Hmm.
just too explosive. He comes from
And I
they're
don't
showing
want
the
you.
highlights right now. He's coming from different angles on those hooks.
And
Nah, he's
look how you putting these combinations together. See,
yeah,
it's not just that he explosive, bro. He technical too.
yeah.
Bro, he made that shit look like art, pool. Like it looked like this dude looked like an artist in the ring, bro. Like he a destructive artist though. He being destructive with it, but it's still an art form. These punches not random, bro. He not randomly just throwing punches. He putting this shit together.
He's kind of
But
like maybe this is the stretch. What do you guys? He's kind of like a technical Roy Jones.
Hmm.
yeah,
Roy Jones is really athletic, but this guy, it's almost like he's technical with it, but he's still as
right.
explosive as a Roy.
And just as athletic.
Right. Yeah,
I
he
don't
But
know
you
if
get
he's
the
problem.
sense
just as
that
I don't know if he's just as athletic as Roy, because Roy did some shit that he threw punches that you just wasn't supposed to throw, and
right,
he connected. Roy didn't set shit up with a jab. Roy just hit your ass with a hook. It was just that fast.
right. But what
So
I want to say is that I'm oh go ahead.
no, I was just saying Roy was so athletic. He was probably one of the best athletic fighters we ever seen because he could just do shit that other fighters couldn't do. Um, Gerard, he has the athletic ability, but he used his technical prowess because of his dad and his brothers coming from a boxing family. Um,
Right.
he's more technical, but his defense is still need work. He still need
Yeah,
to work.
he got to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is though, Paul, I'm not trying to be a prisoner of the moment, bro. I promise y'all, I'm aware of what I'm saying and why I'm
Yeah,
saying I'm
I
not being
know
a
who
prisoner.
you are. You King Judah, nigga. You know what I'm
But
saying?
look,
Until it comes.
I don't want
Go ahead.
people to think I'm just saying this, bro. But what I'm about to say is I'm not being a prisoner of the moment, bro. But Terrence Crawford can't beat Boots right now, bro. He can't. At this age, bro, he is not, bro. If you put him in the ring with Boots, Boots gonna beat Terrence Crawford, bro.
Yeah, yeah. VA Boost did look angry because of he's starting to get a sense of what the media can do and how he's been getting a lot of negative press and being criticized and stuff. And see, this was happens when it really don't matter who he picks, but he's such a low level opponent. He's not going to get any credit for this shit. And he don't he understands that he's not going to get any credit for
But let
beating
me
this
ask
dude.
you this, Paul. It's okay, that's one thing, but as a fighter, like in this division, when you watch something like that, you see how fast he is. And as an opponent, you have to game plan for that. So yeah, the fans are gonna think whatever. But I
Hmm.
promise you, those other guys at 54 who just watched this shit, they're gonna have to prepare for that speed and that precision.
Hmm.
So the fans could think whatever, boost the real deal. I don't see fighters in there trying to rush to fight him.
That's
Yeah,
what
bro,
I
he the
want to
real deal.
hear. When we build fighters in this space, you want to we're testing. If you're not like just a fanboy or whatever, and you're looking for everything, his weaknesses, you're looking for everything. And this fight don't really tell you a lot about Boots except that the average dudes are not going to be able to fuck with him at all. That's what this fight tells you. The average fighters, unless you got something, and I'm not saying I don't know what level uh, Lima is on, but he wasn't able to give Jaron Boots Ennis any problems. So
I don't think
if
he
he
hit
can,
Boots one time.
well, if he can springboard, because think about this, Virgil Ortiz has had good competition at 154. He's had Bokachuk and he had Madrigal. That puts him in a better space than Jaron Boots Ennis. Now I don't know if Matchroom gonna look at that and say, Boots, you need a little bit higher competition before you fight Virgil, because Virgil done already fought two of the best guys at 154. So to me, he got dropped by Bokachuk, which lets me know that Boots Ennis definitely has a chance to beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. But Virgil Ortiz got heart, y'all. She's got a lot of heart. And when he comes back from them fucking knockdowns, that motherfucker's like a super saiyan. And we got to see how Boots is going to react to that surge that Virgil Ortiz has once he get hit. That comeback, that want to get his lick back to get back the momentum in the fight. And I think that fight is going to be so fucking lit because that's going to tell us what Jaron Boots Ennis is all about. Is he a real fucking fighter? Is he, when he fights somebody? 'Cause I think Virgil got a lot of heart, and I just think that's like Sugar Shane Mosley versus Oscar De La Hoya. I think that's going to be that kind of fight when they meet because both fighters are in their prime. Both fighters are hungry. Both fighters want to be the king of the 154 division, and that's going to be the fight for the supremacy. Outside of Sebastian Fedora, that's going to be, cause I'm just going to give it to them that they'll beat at best Barora, Babaru, or how you ever say his name, and Sebastian Fedora. I'm gonna say these two guys here, once they meet, if they meet next, that's going to be the undisputed of 154. What do you think?
Boosh
I
just
just
called
think
out Virgil. He just said that fight's next. They asked him. He said
Yeah,
after. He said
yeah.
if Virgil wins,
They
said if
said they
Virgil wins
said
this fight, yeah.
that's what YSM said. He said that was part of the contract. YSM with his pop-out ass. He said he said that it was stipulated in Matchroom contract that Jerome Boots Ennis is supposed to be after this fight. Supposed to be part of the deal. Um, so I'm thinking, you know, that this was a tune-up for Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. He's really acclimated to 154 now. It's nothing stopping these two guys from getting in the ring and going for what they know. There's nothing stopping them.
Hey, I want to say something to somebody in the chat. They got people in the chat who don't think, I mean, obviously they don't think that Boots can beat Bud, which I don't have a problem with that, right? But it's the way they think the fight to go down. They saying, oh, y'all trying to get Boots murdered by Bud. First of all, people don't realize that Boots is bigger than Bud, and with the styles they have and the age that Crawford coming in, if he beats Boots, it's not going to be by murdering him. He is going to have to be more crafty and outpoint Boots, because I'm telling y'all, if Crawford tries to fight Boots, he is going to get beat up. The shit y'all seen him doing, trying to stand in front of Canelo, if he stand in front of Boots like that, he is going to get beat up. I'm on record telling y'all that anybody who tries to stand in front of Boots and walk him down and beat him and overpower him is getting stopped, including Crawford.
Well, what they're not looking at is that Canelo was picked at a certain stage in his career. They looking
Right.
at they see Boots don't have no stamina issues. He don't have no reflex issues. Crawford is 38. If Crawford go in there and he's just as fast as Boots, something wrong. There's a Victor Conte problem, is what I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
well, you can look at his last fight and tell, like, Crawford not fast as Boots no more. He don't have that kind of speed no more. He don't. He not that fast no more. He faster than the people he fighting, but overall speed is with the 25-year-old. Crawford is not faster than Boots.
It can't be. Can't be. It ain't no way you're gonna be damn near 40 years old and people be like, oh, you just hating on Crawford. No, nigga, I know human history.
Right.
It's no way in the world, nigga, you 38 years old faster than somebody 20 something. They're speedster. It's
Right. He
not
can
happening.
outcraft Boots. Yeah, he can outcraft. That's why I say he can beat Boots. It'll be with outcrafting him and outpointing him. But these people talking about he gonna murder him. First of all, he is not gonna outspeed Boots. And if they throwing punches on each other, he is not gonna be more durable than Boots either. He is not. That's not how he gonna beat Boots. He is not gonna beat him by beating him up. He's not gonna do it. He can't win like that.
He's gonna beat Boots by Boots making mistakes.
Right. He's gonna
And
have
then
to outcraft
capitalize
him in
Now
the
on
that's
endeavor.
it.
something I could see. Now, if
Right.
Crawford is crafty. Crawford ain't just a brute strength type of dude. He's a counter puncher. So if Boots go out there and the moment's too big for him, and he make a mistake and get Falumaloom, I could see that. I could see that because the experience, right?
I'm looking
Because
at how he
Crawford,
just knocked him out and how he's on the front foot. He can't fight Crawford on the front foot like that. He's gonna have to box and mirror Crawford, throw his jab, everything behind the jab.
but
Can
You
I ask
the
you
can't.
this,
problem
brother?
is,
Brother, you right.
the problem is,
You-
the longer you fight Crawford, it's going to be down for Jaron, because once Crawford figures your holes in your game, you're going to have to protect yourself against that, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he
right,
is a counter puncher, and then he'll make it a boring fight because you have to engage to really lose, right? You have to really engage. Crawford ain't for the goddamn throw punches out there and lose. He'll tie you up. So Crawford knows how to make it. So I don't think he's gonna get knocked out by Boots. He might get outpointed, and it might be an ugly fight. But Crawford gonna let you extend yourself. He gonna make you the aggressor. You know.
right,
And at this point in his life, he's not gonna be the offensive juggernaut that he was before. People
right. That's
underestimate
exactly what
that.
I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So the
People.
brother that was just talking, I want to ask him. You said that Boots can't stand on the front foot and fight Crawford like that, and I agree. So I want to see where your head stand. If you see the fight the way I see it, the way Crawford would have to win, just like Boots can't stand on the front foot and fight Crawford. Do you think Crawford can stand in front of Boots and fight back the way his fans think he can?
Look at Seawood. Seawood love Crawford. I think
It,
Crawford is
it I,
is an amazing fighter, man. It's just
yeah.
that he's
Do you? What
older.
I want to ask you. What I want to ask you is, did you see when he was fighting Canelo when Crawford had the moments where he'll stand in the ring and trade with Canelo? Do you think Crawford can do that with Boots?
I think once he feel comfortable that you gas. See, Crawford knew that Canelo was gassed out.
Okay.
He knew. He knew he had Canelo. It was certain. It was a
Boots not
certain
gonna
point
gas
in that
though.
fight. Hmm?
Boots not gonna
Say it
gas
again.
though. Poor Boots not gonna
That's what
gas
I'm
though. He's
saying.
25.
I'm just saying Crawford did that at a point where he knew he could do that. With Canelo. He picked Canelo. He picked Canelo because Canelo was at a certain. I think he would have fought Canelo before, but he knew everybody saw Canelo was in decline. Everybody saw that shit, and I'm not saying like he wasn't still the same Canelo. It's just that Canelo never been that dude. He never been that dude ever when it came to boxers. I never thought Canelo was um this big juggernaut. No, I mean we saw him against Laura. We saw him get Austin Trap. We saw him against Mayweather. He don't boxers, and he boxed those guys out so he wouldn't have to face them. He didn't fight Dave. He don't fight guys that's gonna give him trouble. So
Right.
when he agreed to fight Terrence Crawford, who is a cerebral fighter, I'm surprised he opened it. He thought that the weight difference was going to. I think that Jamel Charlo fight opened him up to letting Terrence Crawford in, and
I
he
think
thought
that
it was going to.
Madrimov fight too. Crawford, the way
Well,
Crawford looked against
Maginoff
Madrimov.
gave him all. Maginoff gave him all kind of trouble. But my
But
thing is,
that's why I think Canelo took the fight though. He thought Crawford looked vulnerable.
okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But when he thought the weight shit was going to take care of itself. He thought it was going to be another Jamel Charlo, and I'm like, bro, Crawford is naturally a big guy. He's not a small dude like y'all think.
Right.
And I just think the art of Sun Tzu came into, everybody underestimated Crawford.
It's impressive though. Like and I picked Canelo. I was wrong about that fight. I thought Crawford was more skillful, but the weight was the difference. And I did not see him putting on that weight so lean at one. I mean, he looked like a full-fledged 168 lean fighter, man. Like that
Well,
surprised me at 38
Because he's
years
so
old.
big. He
But what
naturally
does
bigger
that
than
tell
he
you? The
always.
man started at 30. How did he start at 35 and
He was
spent
weight
more than
draining
half his
himself.
career?
Hey, I saw a video.
That's
I saw a video
crazy.
with Crawford. He was younger, right? When he was at one of them lower, when he was young, they were showing the video of him talking about how hard it is to make weight, because they was asking about his weight cut, right? It was in an interview, and he was weight drained like Devin Haney, bro. His face was sucked in, like Crawford was doing the same thing Devin Haney was doing his whole career. People didn't see that. The dude was draining himself, and I think that's why he had a lot of punch resistance problem. Because when I first started criticizing Crawford, one of my biggest criticisms was I said, "Then this dude must be chinny, because when he get hit clean, he wobble. He went down against Kavaliauskas without me realizing that this man is weight drained. That's why he was compromised. That's why the bigger Crawford got, the less he got wobbled, the less his chin was a problem. But by the time he got to 147, his chin was not a problem no more, for real."
And I agree with retro games and see what I think experience. See, right now Boots is getting the experience he needs. See, Crawford is on a mental level, just like the Floyd Mayweathers. If Boots really see, he already got the physical attributes, he's got the skills, but you need the mindset. And I think as long as he got the mindset, he'll beat the shit out of Crawford, right? But it takes time to get the mindset to be able to operate and execute at the moment. And that's the problem, with fighters, that once they get on that level, like Jamel Charlo felt, I think he could have beat Canelo if he could have endured the barrage of power that Canelo puts you through. And then in the second half, I think Jamel could have beat him, but he couldn't weather the storm. Right? So you got to have the mentality to weather these storms. When you're a fighter, there's two halves. There's almost like there's three fights within a fight. You know what I'm saying? That it's the times that the shit's not going to go in your favor, and you got to weather the storm. I've seen fighters get knocked down 2-3 times and come back and win the fight by knockout. Go watch Simon Brown versus, I forgot what that other guy name was. The one where he kept punching after he got knocked out, after Simon Brown got knocked out. Go watch that fight. He knocked that dude down by 2 or 3 times. Knocked him down by 2 or 3. I forgot what that guy's name was, but he knocked that dude down damn near out the ring. And then he came back and knocked Simon Brown slap out. Knocked him slap
Right.
out.
But
So
what I
it's
think a
the
lot of people,
mentality wise. You got to be tough and it takes experience, it takes time. And Boots got to have that to be able to beat a Crawford, because Crawford shit is made of steel. He going out there to intimidate. He gonna talk shit to you. He got all the tricks to be able to operate on prime time. So it's more than just your skills and your physicality. It's mental, and Boots gonna have to bring that mental to be able to beat a Terrence Crawford. It ain't just 38 years old. It's everything that comes with it. It's experience. It's mental. It's everything, bro. It's everything.
Well, he'll
Mayweather
be
beat the
doing
shit out of
something.
Canelo.
He'll be
I
doing
got you, bro,
something
but I
Crawford
don't believe.
hasn't done. Is he's gonna fight somebody in his
In
prime
they
next to
prime.
Virgil
In they prime.
Ortiz.
I was just about to say that, bro.
So
Listen,
we're
I was
gonna
just about to say
see
that.
that mental, because it's one thing to fight somebody in your prime. That's why I think the Shakur and Tio fight, right? They're from the same
Hmm.
class, the same amateur group. Those are the fights that we miss out on. Like they used to match up young people all the time, and I miss that. That's what's gonna bring boxing back, is these young guys getting it in, not scared to take a loss. Because
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that your career is over with. You can take, like, I think this Haney Norman fight, right? This is the fight I've been looking for the entire year, because the winner of that fight, right, and the trajectory after that is limitless after that. Whoever wins that fight, that's a big fight for the 147 division, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
fight.
I
What
mean
fight?
Because
What
the styles make it. It's very interesting.
what fight you talking about?
Norman
talking
and
about
Haney.
Devin and yeah.
That fight right there is a big test for Devin because it's gonna do a lot for. I think Devin, Brian Norman Jr. They got history. They got a lot of history, and I think it's personal. I think that's a more personal fight than people realize. They came up in Mexico. They came up, through the trenches with each other. And Brian Norman Jr. It's almost like it's a therapy session for them. You see how hard Brian Norman Jr. I keep saying Junior Senior. Keep coming at his dad. Keep coming at Devin Haney's dad. I mean, it's almost like they got a personal hate towards them. It's almost like damn. It's like they don't like the family. It's like a family feud. You know, um, Brian Norman Jr. Every chance he get, he's talking shit about Bill. You know, um, this fight gonna be off the chain right there. That's gonna be. I mean, whoever lose that, Devin has to win. You see Devin, chopping wood. You see this nigga hitting. He going old school. He going Jack Johnson training on this shit. I'm just like he wants to. This is gonna make or break Devin Haney. If Devin Haney loses this fight, he might as well retire because he putting everything he got. From what I see, all the different training. Maybe I don't know if I'm being extra with this shit, but to me, look like This is the fight he wants to win. This is that fight where you put everything on the line, and look like Devin Haney is putting everything. He bringing ass to get ass, and I sense that shit, man, because it looked like he just got to beat this guy. Um,
That's what I
the shit
said,
is.
Paul. This fight is gonna determine a lot, the winner of that fight and the loser of
I'm,
that fight.
I'm just telling you, because from the way I see Devin training down to the blueprint, like he's down into the. I'm talking about, man, he's doing everything he can to get the edge. And I'm just like, wow. I said, I've never seen Devin this passionate. And he gonna need that moving forward, because we don't know how good Brian Norman Jr. really is. We've heard the sparring wars. We've heard, saying we've seen, that he got heart, but we don't know how good those guys really are that he beat. And but we've seen Devin against the Lomachinkos of the world, George Kambosos. We've seen what he can do. We've seen him against the what's his name, Jorge Linares of the world, Jojo Diaz of the world. We've seen what Devin can do, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of game plan that Brian Norman Jr. come up with, because all smearing, is he going to allow him to put him on the ropes and piece him up on the ropes? You know what I'm saying? Hit him with them short shots. So we know Devin is an outside fighter. You know what I'm saying? So Brian Norman is an inside fighter. Um, he's explosive, but he does have a lot of tails. So I don't know, man. I think Devin is going to outclass him. I think Devin is, if he don't stick his chin out there and what I'm saying, I think he'll be all right, as long as he don't, try to do what he did against Ryan Garcia. I think
Yeah,
he'll
I
be all
think
right.
Brian Norman. I think I watched Brian Norman fight against everybody, but Brian Norman always look best against flat-footed fighters that come forward and don't have defense. The first time Brian Norman was faced with a fighter that had any inclination of being somebody that had self-preservation and wanted to fight from the outside behind a jab because they didn't want to get knocked out, Brian Norman had his worst performance against Quentin Rounder. Quentin Rounder, who, by the way, don't have educated feet. Yeah, he's tall and tries to fight from the outside, but he has very slow and retarded feet. So the fact that Brian Norman struggled to close the distance and had his worst performance and ate the jab all night, Brian Norman Jr. does not look good against boxers because he was fighting against a boxer that's not even half the boxer that Devin is, and he had his worst performance ever.
And you know what? It's like I understand we got these father son duos dynamics, and I like it. Trust me, the promotion I think that makes the fight bigger. When it comes to these things, but my thing is they both are great dads. You know, I like the fact that they're in their children's life. This shows that black men, not all black men abandon their kids. It's like look at these dads. Look at Schofield dad. You know what I'm saying? Black fathers, especially these millennial niggas, they really are taking care of these kids and taking them to the next level. And I love it. But at the same time, it's just so toxic, bro. The way they going at each other, bro. It's like, damn, can we be a little bit more professional? Can we do that? Can we just be a little bit more professional? Do we have to get so goddamn gutter with this shit? You
Right.
know? Well, yeah, you spend 5 years in prison. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand if it was just us listening, but we got the world listening. I love Brian Norman Sr. because I get it. It's psychological, and he
Well,
pissing people
somebody
off. Hmm.
somebody said something that made a lot of sense to me about that. He tried to attack Bill, right? He said, "Yeah, you're not undefeated because you spent this time in
Right.
prison, right?"
That was me,
But guess what
nigga.
though? But know what I'm saying. But what the thing is, what make it so bad on his part, Brian Norman Sr. don't understand he shitted on himself because Bill spent time in prison away from his son. Because you say, yeah, you was away from your son, I wasn't away from mine. But Bill was not only able to become more successful than you personally, his son is also more successful than your son. So what they say about you?
Mm.
Bill was gone for 5 years, came out, became more successful than you, and raised a son that's more successful than yours.
But my thing is, they both great. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones Jr. and his dad. Roy Jones Jr. dad got him the way he is. So it's like, damn. It's like, can we just get the positive side of this shit? It's like to have two dads that's professional, you know, leading their sons into a career that's successful. What's gonna happen if Devin wins? What's gonna happen if Brian Norman Jr. wins? It's like, damn. Are they gonna come over to each other corner and still congratulate each other, or the shit is just on for a rematch? It just depends on what happens in the ring, you know.
I think a
And
big
not only that, bro. Not only that, but the Brian Norman thing, Brian Norman Senior trying to attack Bill. Not only that is he more successful than you and his son, more successful than your son, but the blueprint that you using, Bill Haney created it. You doing you following the blueprint that Bill Haney created to promote your son. You ain't nothing but a
Mm,
Bill Haney 2.0.
mm-hmm. Oh,
I
don't
really
don't
want to
believe me.
see
I haven't been lost. I wasn't lost on that shit. I was like, he just like
Yeah.
Bill. Somebody said Bill met his match. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Bill met his match. I was like, bro, they just trying to ride the wave and trying to get their son name out there. And I ain't got nothing wrong with that, but I just, I'm just like, damn, man, it's such a unique club to be a part of. To have your son to be a professional, successful fighter to win a championship. And I hope that if Devin Haney wins, it's not the end for Brian Norman Jr. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just starting to get the notoriety. And I just want their careers to be able to continue and be able to excel, after this fight. I just hate when you got two young fighters, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna take a lot out of each other in this fight, I do believe. Because it's so it's such I don't even know how to say it. It's so competitive, you know, and they got such history. I
Well, I
think
know
Devin
exactly. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I just think Devin is just on another level. I don't think people realize that Devin is on another level. I think Ryan woke Devin up, and I think we're gonna see the real Devin Haney. I think people don't realize how passionate Devin is. Devin, so, I mean, other people, you can't deny that Devin is not a fighter. He's a real fighter, bro. He's one of them dudes that's gonna cover up. He's gonna get better every fight. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. I know people think that Devin got his ass beat by Ryan, but let me tell you something. Because of that ass whipping, he's a better fighter because of it. He's a better fighter.
So
You know.
I can tell you exactly what's gonna happen with this fight. We know what's gonna happen if both of these dudes win. You know what'll happen if Devin win versus Norman, if Norman win, and what's gonna happen if either one of them lose going forward. So a win for Devin, right? This put Devin right back to where he was before the whole Ryan Garcia thing. Devin gonna have boxing at his foot again because he
Mhm.
already was the A side to he already the A side to most fighters, right? He already promoting himself, so money is not an issue for Devin. He get paid more than the average fighter because he own his own promotional company. On top of that, that'll make him a 3 division weight champion. I think, yeah, he'll be a 3 division weight champion. He'll be a champion at 147. And we already know he got the leeway to move up if he won't, depending on how good he look at 147. This put Devin
Mhm.
right back to where he was, you know. But a loss to Brian Norman, it destroyed Devin. Not necessary, because I think with Turkey, I think Devin can still get fights, but he'll have to work his way back up. He'll be seen as somebody who expected to lose. See, Devin right now, Devin still got that awe about him where, you know, they still got a lot of people that expect him to win every fight he step in. But if he lose to Brian Norman, he gonna be the guy that everybody expect to lose no matter who he fighting. So that's what Devin will be at. He'll have to prove himself, and he'll have to prove himself. Not just one fight gonna shake him back. If he lose to Brian Norman, Devin will have to win like 4 or 5 fights in a row with some knockouts for people to respect him again. You
I
know,
think, yeah, I agree with you,
but
Judah.
I agree
I
with
think,
that.
I
but with
think
Brian
Bill.
Norman,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to get this off about Brian Norman, though, the other side
Yeah.
of it. A win for Brian Norman puts that'll be the beginning of the Brian Norman era. That'll be the beginning of his mystique. Because right now he just got that knockout and he living off that one knockout. You know what I'm saying, against Sasaki.
Mhm.
But a win against Devin Haney begins his campaign and tell people, look, I'm that dude. I want them all. So basically, it'll be harder for people to look at Brian Norman when he do call out certain names and them to say, man, who is you? Because if you beat Devin Haney, you are now somebody, and people got to take you seriously. That's what's
That's
going to happen
facts.
for Brian
And you got
Norman.
to think about
But
this, King. He's going to rule for a while because there's nobody at 147
I was
except
just
for me
about
and
to say
you.
that,
nobody,
fool.
That's
nobody.
Like Bill
But a
facts.
Haney's
loss,
looking at the bigger. He's
but a
playing
loss,
chess right now. Bill
but a
Haney's playing
loss.
chess. Yeah.
Yeah,
What he's
let me
trying
get
to
this off
do.
about the loss.
Oh yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me get
Go
this
ahead,
off
Judah.
about the loss. Just
Go
because
ahead.
I'm gonna be done after this, I promise. But a loss for Brian Norman Jr. What that's gonna do for him, the first thing the Norman's gonna realize is that a loss to Devin Haney, that they don't actually have fans. You have a lot of people that hate Devin Haney who supporting your son because they want to see Devin lose. When your son loses to Devin, if he loses to Devin Haney, the first thing you're gonna realize is how your son name fall into obscurity. All them people you thought was his fans, you're gonna realize they were really just Haney haters who supported you because you was the latest hope for them to find somebody that'll beat Devin Haney. That's gonna be the first thing they realize. The second thing they're gonna realize is Top Rank never actually believed in Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. was set up to fail against Santillan. They didn't think he was gonna beat Sasaki. But what they gonna find, what's gonna hurt their feelings is that the guy that they actually want to push is coming up behind Brian Norman, and he's better than Brian Norman. That's Abdullah Mason. If Brian Norman Jr. stay at 147, they're gonna feed Brian Norman Jr. to Abdullah Mason. That's what's gonna happen to Brian Norman if he loses.
Man, let me tell you something.
That's a good scrap,
Abdullah
man. That's a good
Mason,
scrap.
by the time he get to 140, he gonna be on a whole nother level, bro. That
Yeah, he
boy
gonna
there,
be levels above them
man, that
boys.
boy there, you
But
know,
they're gonna
he
feed if
he.
Brian Norman lose, they're gonna feed him to Abdullah, bro. I'm telling you, at some point they're gonna feed him because Top Rank don't have no use for the Normans.
Well, you can look
Yo,
at
Devin has a
Regis.
chance
You can look at
because
I
of his
Regis
will.
right now.
promotional company. That, like you mentioned, Judah, the promotional company, he has an advantage right now. Of if he can take care of Norman, he can make the fights with Barrios and them other guys because of that promotional company. So I think Bill's looking long term, like let's go ahead and lock up these belts because you got Tio, Shakur, Keyshawn, Gary. All those guys are gonna have to move up at some point. And so if
What
they're
you
able to
say?
get a lock hold on the welterweight division, then Danny's
One
back into he's back in the business.
147 is the weakest division right now. If you just look at the names
Yeah.
Right.
that's around it, even though honestly that was the glamour division. You know what I'm saying? It was the glamour, the money making division is the weakest division right now in boxing. I would say this. I give props to B. Norman Sr. as well as Bill Haney, right? These are two brothers who came from two different lifestyles. However they came up, right, and made it to the point that they at. Both these brothers made their son successful. So we gonna give them props on that. But when it's all said and done, um, they two different fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
if you look at it, if you look at the relationship between the son and the father, both sons look like they locked in with their dads, but I think I think B Norman Senior get better results with his son opposed to Bill and Devin. Bill ain't box. B Norman did. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the little things that's
Mm-hmm. I
going to
see what you're saying.
transpire in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Bill ain't never fight. Bill's not a fighter. B Norman was. You know
But I
that's
think
going.
this is the thing I think you ain't looking at though. He got Zab Judah training him now. He
Yo,
got
so
Zab.
listen, yo,
Mm-hmm.
listen. Devin Zab Judah is Devin Haney's godfather. Zab just ain't started training Devin Haney. That's not new, bro. Like that, yo, Bills took Devin to you name the trainer, Bills took him to him. The relationship never worked out because of Bill. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's known. It's like so Shane Mosley, that's just a think about it, bro. Devin Haney came up in the Mayweather gym.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that, right? Big Floyd was Devin Haney trainer growing up. So he's seen the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
Devin Haney get another trainer now, or seeing Zab Judah or Shane Mosley. What is that really going to do now at this point in time? You see what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
I
Like,
mean, I hear
No,
what you're
I'm
saying, but I
listening.
don't, I don't see how you saying that Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Sr. getting better results. Brian Norman Sr. didn't raise an undisputed champion. Brian Norman Jr. don't have nobody on his resume as good as Lomachenko. Devin did all of that.
nah, no question. Like, listen, you can't question Devin resume. What I'm saying is like, as far as do I think if Brian Norman had those opportunities, would it be the same results? You could argue it. You know what I'm saying? But when it's all said, I'm talking about Haney versus Norman. I like
Okay,
Norman. I like Norman in that fight. I like Norman in that fight just because of what he offers. He don't have the greatest jab, but he has a good enough jab. You know what I mean? When it comes to fighting Devin, if Devin said he's gonna fight him on the inside, that just lets me know they're gonna fight him from the outside. Devin Haney is not an
well that's what they
inside fight.
said against.
Devin
Yeah,
Haney
that's what
is
they said against
Devin
Ryan.
Haney's an inside fighter with fighters who don't pose an issue on the inside. Brian Norman can fight on the inside. So Devin Haney's gonna fight on the outside. In that fight, I like Norman. Do I think Devin Haney's a better boxer than Brian Norman Jr.? Absolutely. No question. He was a former undisputed champion. Can't question that. But and it's about matchups, right?
Yeah.
Right,
It's about styles, right?
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
In this particular fight, I like Norman. I think
No, I got
Norman
you.
I
Yeah,
think Norman's good. He's good enough for the pedigree that Devin Haney has. I think for what Brian Norman Jr. offers is good enough.
right. No,
Devin
I
But
got.
Haney,
So my thing
I
is, I'm
think.
a Haney fan.
Go
I'm a
ahead. Go
Haney
ahead.
fan, bro, but I never sit up there and be like, and I know what you was expecting, bro. But I'm not gonna down your opinion, bro. Devin, to me, I got Devin, but Devin is not so much better than Brian Norman Jr. that I'll say that you crazy for thinking Brian Norman can win. You
nah,
see what I'm
fact, yo,
saying?
bro, I've been bigging
So
you up the whole time. You've been cooking, bro. You've been cooking the whole show. Like I've
yeah,
been in the chat, yo, King Judah cooking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
yeah,
been
yeah,
agreeing with you with 90% of everything you've been saying. In
yeah.
this particular fight, I just like Norman Jr. I like the matchup. He's got the size. This is the first time Devin Haney's actually gonna be fighting somebody his size. They're gonna rehydrate. They ain't gonna be that far off each other. You know what I'm saying? So like Devin Haney can chop all the wood that he want, bro. He been chopping wood and doing all type of exercises for since he been like 8 years old, bro. He don't have power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a Jared Hurd at welterweight. That's
Mm,
that's kind of what it is. He's Jared
that,
Hurd.
come on, man. Don't do him like that, bro. Not
Right.
no
But
damn
me
Jared
personally,
Hurd.
I hear what you're saying, bro. But this is what I think about Devin right now. Mind you, yes,
Mm,
it's highly possible that he don't have power. He'll never have power, no matter how much he move up, right? But honestly, in this fight, in fights going forward towards 147, I don't think that the power is going to be the most important attribute that Devin need to develop by
mm,
getting bigger. Most people look at his power. I'm looking at more durability. If being bigger make Devin more durable, I still think his boxing ability is going to help him win against anybody he stepped in front of. He don't have to be more powerful than his opponents. He just have to be
Nah,
able to
no
take
question.
their best shots.
No question. No question. No, I agree with you on that. But when you got
but
Yeah.
videos like the pro Devin Haney channels, bro, just kind of make it bad for him. Like and like
Yeah.
when you
yeah,
like when you
everybody.
got channels
Why does
blowing it up,
let me ask you this, Ron?
huh?
Why does everybody worry about the perception of Devin? I don't understand why everybody worry about. Devin is at a disadvantage with lack of power, but he's gotten this far on boxing skills. So I wonder why everybody's so worried about the height. That
Because
had.
yo,
Go ahead.
it's Bill, bro. Like yo, listen, if Devin Haney, how old is Devin now? Devin is like
He
Mm,
26.
27. I
He's
think he's
27.
26, about to be
Yo, bro,
27.
that
Yeah, about
Bill
to be.
shouldn't talk with Devin no more. That's
but
the
that's his
reality of
daddy.
it.
That's his
Bill,
dad, bro.
yo, bro,
Don't
he's a
That's
grown
also his
ass man,
promoter.
bro.
That's also his
Like
promoter
right.
too, though.
it's all
Listen,
yo, I
just
get it.
listen. That's your
But
daddy, bro. And
when
everybody,
you
your daddy. Go ahead.
when you hear Devin speak and you hear Bill speak, Devin Haney is likable. You dig what I'm saying?
I'm
He's
sorry,
a
you went
likable
out.
dude.
You went out a little bit. You went out a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you hear Devin speak, bro, Devin's likable. He's to the point. He said what he gotta say, bro. It's Bill that builds the dislike for Devin. Nobody else. It's Bill, bro. Like it's Bill in the media. It's Bill talking all the shit. It's Bill. It's all Devin's hate comes behind Bill.
But
If
let me
Devin
ask you this,
spoke for
bro.
if Devin
I'm
spoke for himself, the same issue like Devin's gonna have the same issue as Kenny and Sean Porter with him and Bill, bro.
Nah, bro.
Like
I'm gonna tell you why that's the bro. Like that's low hanging fruit, bro. And that argument, bro, is falling flat on his face. I'm gonna tell you why. It's like people selective about who they want to apply that to. You saying that Bill speak for Devin, and that's why people don't like him because Bill not likable. But with the same logic, anytime Tank Davis throughout his career, when his trainers Calvin and Kenny said anything that made him look bad, and you try to tie that to Tank, they would tell you where Tank didn't say it, Kenny said it. Calvin
nah,
said it.
bro.
Why doesn't the same apply for
You,
Bill Haney and Devin Haney?
yo, listen, I'm from Baltimore, bro. Like
Yeah,
I know Calvin and Kenny. You feel me?
right. But I'm
When
just asking you why is Tank? Why do Tank get the grace to say when they say things that are demonizing or damaging to Tank image? Everybody makes sure to delineate the fact that Tank didn't say it. It came
I
from
don't
their
agree with
mouth.
that.
But
I don't agree
yeah,
with that, bro. Like anything that come from Upton Gym, bro, and they can tie it to Tank Davis, bro. Like the that's what happens. It's only a certain few that's gonna sit there and defend that. But I get what you're saying, and that ain't right either. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what you're saying though, bro. But I would say this: I like Devin Haney as a person. Like when I like the young man that he is, the man that he is today. I like. He should speak for himself. He's too old to have Bill ruin his reputation. Devin Haney should be bigger than what he even is now. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? He should be a bigger fighter than what he is. It's Bill that's handicapping him. I promise you. And I put it in the chat. When you get caught on camera, just fresh off a line, and you got wipe your nose off in the interview or calling you out, bro, and make your brand look bad.
Well,
That's a
let me say
damage.
this. Well, let me say this. Look at Schofield and his daddy. His daddy always talking.
He
His daddy
does, yo.
always
He's another one.
his
Auntie
daddy
Sco is
always
another
in the
one.
fucking videos.
He's another one.
You know.
Yo, bro, he's on camera. He's on camera choking the chick out. Talking about
But but
he
you don't
damaging his
hold it
son
against
brand.
Schofield. But you don't hold it against Schofield the way you do with Bill. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
Right.
I do. But if we were talking
Mm,
about Floyd Schofield Sr., I'll be
mhm.
saying something different. I'll be telling you the same issues I got with him as well, bro, hurting his son brand. But we talking about Devin and Bill right now.
Right.
Bill hurts
Well,
his
I'm
son
just giving
brand.
you an example of
Nah,
kind
I
of the
got you.
same. Mhm.
I got you.
But
Bill need to
listen,
take a step back and let Devin
Norman
become a
Senior
man,
do the
bro.
same thing though, bro. You know, Norman Senior do the same thing. But
Devin,
nobody
but look.
blames Norman Jr. for what Norman Senior
Let me say
said.
this. Let me say this. We know Devin ain't no shit talker like that. Devin ain't no shit talker like that.
Right.
See, Bill, we should be able to, like what you say, delineate the difference
Yeah.
between Devin is a clean cut cat. He ain't no shit talker. He's all about taking the big fights, win or lose. That's why real boxing fans love this guy because even if he beat Brian Norman Jr., he's gonna take a tough fight. The next fight is gonna be a tough fight. Matias, T.O. He's running after these fights. That's what we should be looking at. Fuck what Bill talking about. You know what I'm saying? Bill ain't in the ring fighting these dudes or trying to challenge these guys. When I look at boxing and I see who these guys are trying to like really prove themselves against, I see Devin trying to reach for the stars. He's trying to challenge people that could really beat his ass in the ring. But when I see these other guys,
I'm not. I wouldn't go that far. His last fight was Ramirez, bro. And I watched up Ramirez,
bro,
and we
who
saw
you
the
you know
results of that fight.
you know who
We watched
Ramirez
him
is,
12
right?
zip. Yes, but that's
Mm,
not the same Ramirez. Like, yo, I heard King Judah
mm.
speaking on. I just heard King on the same stream. King Judah spoke about Bud and being the opportunist and when you fight, not who
You
you
think
fight, but
Dev
when
is
you
an
fight them.
opportunist? Would you put Dev in the same category as moving in
That's
his
not the
career?
same Ramirez, bro.
I
That was a shell of
understand that.
Ramirez.
I understand that. But he fought
Yeah, but
Maria. I
bro, he
mean, he
coming off
fought
a year
him.
layoff, bro. Like he coming
It's
off a year
it's
layoff, dog.
Boost didn't
Yo,
take a
he
you.
young, bro. He's young. He should be fighting
A
3 times a
layoff is a
year.
layoff, though, bro. A layoff ain't got nothing to do with age, bro. It's more so that I've been out the ring at the highest level for a whole
Well,
year, and now I'm
not only
stepping back
that,
in the ring
Judah,
at the
you
highest
got your
level.
ass knocked out in your last fight, so you got to test yourself. You can't go against the champions before you test to see if you still got it. I think
Yo,
Ramirez.
I'm getting ready.
I think
I'm getting ready
Lima.
to get off, yo. I'm getting ready to get off. This is my whole thing with
Oh,
Devin.
okay.
I listen. I love and respect everything these brothers built.
Mhm.
Just critically criticize. Just criticizing them, bro. You got your ass whooped. You sued to get your O removed. What we all seen you get whooped, right? To come back and fight a washed up version of Ramirez and the fight in that style, it just wasn't a good look. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
I think
going
he
I
should.
into
I
this,
feel
think.
you, bro.
I think he should have went
go
straight for Ryan Garcia when he came back. Don't you think?
me too. Me too. He went straight to the rematch and take a win, lose, or draw, right? I would have loved him way more for he got way more respect for that
Yeah.
than going to
Yeah,
fight a
y'all
washed up
always.
Ramirez. They
But
fight a
listen,
washed
y'all
up
I
Ramirez
always.
and
think.
dance on him
I
for
think the
12
same with
rounds, bro.
Tank.
Nah,
I think the
nah,
same with
y'all
Tank. I think
always.
he should
Y'all
have. I
know,
think
bro.
he should have
I
went
gotta,
straight. I think he should have went straight into the rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. And I
bro.
think
Why?
people
But
would
Tank
be
got
looking.
Tank had the legal
Yeah.
issues. That's what messed the rematch
Nah,
up.
bro.
Right,
Nah, bro.
right. But
Listen,
what I'm
listen. Why
saying
do
is,
y'all keep? Why do y'all keep? Yo, mother, go ahead, bro.
no, what I'm saying is, if he would, you're not, once you have a and everybody know this, boxing, all my boxing aficionados out there, once you have a controversial battle, you can't have nothing disturb that. Nothing. You got to go
I'm gonna
get
ask
that.
y'all.
Hmm
I just want to know from y'all, bro, because everybody keep revising the history, bro. I'm trying my best to be respectful with this, but I'm getting kind of, bro. It's been almost a year. It's been a year since this happened with Devin and Ryan, and y'all created a narrative, and y'all still lying about it. This lie that Devin sued Ryan to get his O off his record, to get his O back. That's a lie. The only reason Devin sued Ryan was to convince Ryan to rematch him, because when Devin wanted to rematch Ryan, he
And that's
didn't want
true.
to rematch him. Devin threatened him to say, "I'll sue you if you don't rematch me." Devin then, when Ryan agreed, Devin took the lawsuit off the table, just like he promised Ryan. And guess what Ryan did? Ryan reneged and said, "Yeah, I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you." All Ryan only agreed to fight him.
Did Devin sue his baby mother for a Birkin bag?
He sued her because she was running his name through the mud.
No, did Devin sue his baby mother for a Birkin bag, bro?
Because she was running his name through the mud. She called him
he sued Ryan for if he sued his baby mother for a Birkin bag,
she was calling this man
for whooping his ass like that, bro. Like, come on.
She was saying this man was abusive.
Yo, come on, bro.
No, because you're not gonna lie. You're not gonna lie on this black man, bro. No, you're not gonna lie on this black man to defend this Mexican who cheated on him. Yeah.
Yo, he sued his baby mother for a Birkin bag, bro.
That ain't got nothing to do with
somebody for whooping his ass?
And guess what he sued Ryan for? He sued Ryan. He told Ryan, "I'm taking the lawsuit
Ryan
off the
for
table."
Whooping his ass.
Ryan did not get sued. Why is Ryan not sued right now then?
Bro, he sued. Well, how he get his O back,
Why
bro?
is Ryan not sued now?
How he get his O back?
He got his O back from the boxing commission. He got his O back from the boxing commission. They had nothing to do with Devin.
Let's lose some logic. He got his O back because Ryan was caught with the shit in his system. That's why. I don't know why people taking it. They try to act like Ryan didn't cheat to win. He did, bro. He cheated. We gotta accept that. Ryan, and you saw what Ryan looked like in his next fight.
Cotto get his O back from Margarito?
Say that again.
You say what?
Did Cotto get his O back from Margarito?
He did not.
He did not.
Yeah.
He did not. He got it back in blood, right?
But let me ask you this: why are
he
you
got it back in blood, right?
But stop, bro. Stop. How you?
Bro, what is Devin trying to do? You acting like Devin not trying to fight. Ryan Garcia turned the fight down.
Stop. Why are we overlooking at the fact that these niggas cheated? You can't own an ass whipping if a nigga cheated on you.
Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If a nigga whoop me like that,
say that again, Rome. You going
a millionth of a gram, bro. Like I'm gonna just take it for what it is.
Rome, you going in and out. Say that again. Say that everything you said.
If I got whooped and the dude who cheated me tested for a millionth of a gram, right? I'm not hanging on to that.
That's masking up.
If it's a millionth of a gram,
it
bro,
wasn't a million. Bro, I don't know what channels you've been listening to, bro, but it wasn't a million of the gram because the doctor said he had 6 times the limit of what he was supposed to have in his system.
It don't matter. It's like if you got some shit in your system, you're not supposed to have nothing.
I agree. What I'm saying is, I would have just ran a rematch. Like at the end of the day, if Devin Haney, like listen,
and
if
what
we're
did
saying
Devin try to do? Who
if
turned
Devin
down the
Haney
fight?
is the lineal
Who turned
champion,
down the fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney? Why did he fight?
King,
whatever we say he is, bro, he should have just ran the rematch. It shouldn't have been no lawsuits. It should have been none of that shit. They should have just ran it back.
The nigga didn't want to fight him. What part that you don't understand that Devin wanted to fight? Devin still wants to fight. Devin took the law. Devin threatened him with a lawsuit to make him agree. Took the lawsuit off the table after Ryan did agree, and Ryan still said he didn't want to fight him.
Spades. And then they went and played spades.
King, well, you know what? I was just about to say. That's what really fucking pisses me off. That he went
and then they went and played spades.
He went and shook this nigga hand. It's like,
well, no, the fight's supposed to be back on now. The fight's supposed to be back on now. Ryan Garcia and Devin, the fight's supposed to be back on. That's why they being cool with each other.
Let me tell you something. Ryan is a piece of shit. He don't take this shit seriously. And
I mean, you gotta listen. I agree with Paul. I agree he's a piece of shit, right? But then you have to question any and everybody that's around that's getting money with him, including Devin. So that's my whole thing, right? Like, you as good as the company you keep. Like, oh, you taught me how to play baccarat. After you dropped me 6 times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my whole thing about you niggas, The whole thing about you niggas I don't like, bro, because especially when I talk about black people specifically, we all black, we all watch Rocky. Every black person in the world gonna tell you that they understood that Apollo couldn't beat the Russian while he was on steroids, and that's a fucking movie. But y'all expected Devin to win against somebody who was juicing in real life. That's what make me sick about niggas, man.
Bro,
you agree that Apollo couldn't
why
beat the
not run
Russian
it right back?
because he was
Like, yo,
full of roids.
listen to me, bro. Like, I done took L's before. I done took an L before, right? I done fought a nigga, and bro beat me, right? I'm running it right back. I ran it right back and whooped the nigga ass. So, like, my whole thing is this, right? In real life, on some real life shit, bro. If he beat you, whatever, for whatever reason, you Devin Haney, Floyd Mayweather Sr. raised you in the gym, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? You letting some big Mexican boy come up here and whoop on you? I don't care what he on. Why you ain't running right back?
Bro, what you think he tried to do, bro? Like, I'm trying to be cool with you, bro.
Why you ain't running right
like
back,
Devin
bro?
didn't
You
try to get
went
the
for
fight?
Jose Ramirez, who got
Because
knocked
Ryan
out his
Garcia
last
didn't want
6
the
fights.
rematch. Ryan Garcia didn't want the rematch.
Nah, man. Nah. Ryan won it.
No,
Nah, I
Ryan
don't believe
Garcia
that.
is on
I
record.
don't
Ryan
believe
Garcia
that.
is
I
on
don't
record
believe Ryan.
turning down
Yo,
a rematch
why
twice.
would I not? Why would I not want a rematch with a nigga I dropped 6 times?
Rome, listen to Poole. Ryan knew he had the one up. Ryan is one of them. Let me tell you something. People like white, they want that one up on you. And he knew he had the one up on Devin. He wanted to ride that. And he wanted for to give Devin a second opportunity to show that was a fluke. If Ryan knew he had whipped Devin that easy, he would have ran that shit back. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I think that's where you're looking at it wrong. It's like once you whip a motherfucker ass in the ring like that, and it was easy like that, he would have ran that shit right back. Ryan did
Yo,
not.
bro, like I don't know
What I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Before you respond. If Ryan, the way he whipped Devin ass, that was such a cold ass whipping. He would have ran that back immediately. He wanted to keep the one up on Dev. And I'm not saying that Dev wouldn't have got his ass whipped again or nothing like that, but you could tell by the way he reacted, he was on that shit, and he went in there and he did what he did, and he got over on Dev. He tricked him. And see, and he wanted to keep that
could be
win
true.
over Dev head. That's all I'm saying.
My point is,
when you have, listen to me, when you have two fighters that's competitive and they want to, it'll be more like Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. It'll be like that, where two fighters they feel like they kind of close in skill and everything. One got one fight, the other got the other, and they want to figure it out who's the best, right? It's none of that shit. These guys here that we have today, they just want see, there's no 2-3 fights to figure out who's the best no more. It's not Oscar De La Hoya versus Sugar Shane Mosley no more. No, long as they get the win, motherfucker knows that resonates with the boxing fans. They okay, you got your ass whipped. That's it. I ain't fighting you no more. And they try to haul ass with that shit. No, nigga. No. We need to run this back. We need to run this back. Floyd, anytime he had a controversial win, he ran it back immediately. We're not having that shit nowadays. These fighters want to run with the reputation that you got your ass kicked. You saw what Ryan looked like against everybody else besides, just like Tyson Fury. He looked like shit against all these mediocre talent, but when it came against Deontay Wilder, he looked like Muhammad Ali. He had power. He had all kind of shit going on. Use your eyes. Use your eyes. Ryan don't look like that against top competition. He don't want to face a Devin without anything extra. And I mean, people they look at Devin like he ain't shit. Devin got a lot of confidence, y'all.
Devin Haney is a good fighter, man. Like
He's a good fighter.
I'm not taking away from
other
Devin.
fighters know on his worst day, they got to come with their best. Ryan is not a good fighter, y'all. He's not. He don't have the focus. That's his problem. Ryan weak point is he don't have the focus. He can't stay focused for more than 5 minutes. The bitch got ADD, and
Yeah.
he knows it. He can't get in that ring. It ain't that the fact that he don't have the skills. It ain't the fact that he don't have the reflexes. That motherfucker is like a mirror Khan. He can't stay focused.
Yeah. He's the new age Amir Khan. I totally agree with that.
He has everything, but he can't stay focused for shit.
Yeah.
That's his problem. He could beat a lot of people ass if he could stay focused, but he can't stay focused. That's his problem. He get bored. He can't keep the mental stability in the ring to use his skills. He can't do
Yeah.
it. And he know that Devin is a grinder. He is a Andre Ward in the ring.
I
He's
wouldn't go
into
that
this
far.
shit.
I see,
No, I'm
yo,
talking
see,
about mentally. I'm
I
talking about
like Devin,
mentally.
bro, but like,
I'm not talking about what Ward had, but Ward wasn't a powerful motherfucker either. He was just a motherfucker that would grind your ass out like a Bernard Hopkins. Devin got that kind of mentality where he stays focused. Ryan
I
don't have that.
I ain't seen that yet, man. Like, I like listen. Do I
Did you see him fight Lomachenko? Did you see it? Tank didn't fight Lomachenko. You know why? Because you got to stay focused. Tank is the type of motherfucker that want to get your ass up out of there. Tank
Yeah,
don't want
like,
to box you. Tank don't want to box you, bro. He want to box you for a little while, then he want to knock your ass out and get you up out the way. There's certain fighters that they can grind shit out, and they know that if you don't have the mental focus, that they can get
Right.
you at the end. See,
Right.
yeah,
see, certain certain
I get
fighters.
the comparison. I get the
Mhm.
comparison, yo. Like, RJ Ward, one of my favorite fighters, so like, it was just kind of personal for me. You know what I'm saying? But
Why?
nah,
Yeah, it's
I
different.
get where you coming from. Like a grinder, the working the body. You know what I'm saying? Using the
Mm-hmm.
ring. You know what I mean? Crafty.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
As
I
far as like
think what he's saying is Devin don't have when I heard grinding, I wasn't thinking for as like they fighting style. I was thinking he was talking about their mentality. But Devin don't have quit in
Right.
him. He don't have no
No,
quit in him. Like he not
none.
it didn't matter how
None.
many times Ryan
He's a
Garcia knocked Devin
fighter.
down.
It's a
Devin got
difference
up every single
between
time with the intention of trying to win the fight.
Ryan is not that Ryan got gifts from God, but he's not a fighter. Certain guys are fighters that Devin don't have half the gifts that a lot of these fighters do. Like Boots. Boots got gifts. If he meet another fighter that's as athletic as him, it's gonna be interesting to see what he do. Because
I'm gonna have to hop off. I'm gonna stay in the chat though. But salute to the chat, y'all, man. Good show,
all right,
Cole.
Rome.
Good.
Hey man, you got to bring your ass back up here, boy, because you in there, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I got you, bro. Like I'm about to be back in the YouTube streets, man. So I
All
got you,
right,
bro.
bro. Yes, sir.
Salute, man.
Mm. But people don't. But man, y'all got to understand. Like when you get a fighter that's got the heart, the spirit, the courage, to go out there and take risk. That's boxing. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all may not like Dev or his daddy, but that's boxing. I see it in Brian Norman Jr. You know, they got that fighter spirit, man, that's gonna bring this shit back. I see it in Abdullah Mason. He got knocked down, came back stronger, and knocked the other guy down. That's boxing, y'all. Right now, we seeing a resurgence of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Out here. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the real shit come back. Now, they may not have the names. They may not have the names that's popular because it's also a popularity contest. We're looking at the best that's at the top of the division, like a Tank Davis, and he let us down, right? Because these fighters, it's like, yeah, they need money and all that, but goddamn, bro, it's like you the top of the division, leading what boxing is. So it don't matter if Jake Paul go out there and knock Tank out or not. That shit don't even matter because it's not a real fight for one, and for two, this nigga's ridiculously big. This nigga's a fucking giant. He's a fucking Nephilim compared to what Tank Davis is, 135. He's the size of a 12-year-old. So no matter what Tank throw, he ain't gonna be able to hurt Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a fucking giant who won't fight people his size. Imagine if David Benavidez went in there and fought Jake Paul with whatever size gloves. You know what I'm saying? All this shit is ridiculous. You know, I mean, bruh, I'm just like, why people care about that Jake Paul fight, I don't know. But what important is Tank gonna come back to boxing because he is one of the faces of boxing. He is what makes boxing alive today, right? So if he comes back and fight Lamont Roach, that's cool. But he needs to be in a mental space to where he can train up to his full potential and be able to fight that man. And we get an honest assessment of who's the best. And I think Tank is way better than Jamont Roach. Don't get me wrong. I just think fighters go through. You're not the same in your life. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how the fuck you feel. You know, Tank ain't feeling boxing right now, and that's the worst time to fight. So Tank comes back and beat Lamont Roach. It won't shit be said about this little blemish, you know, because I think Tank is on a whole nother level. And I think if Tank fully commit himself, you know, to his craft, he'll beat Shakur. He'll probably beat all these dudes if he really believes in himself and come back, you know, 100%. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But Tank don't want that shit. So it's not gonna happen. That's what I mean by fighters versus guys that just fighting for money. There's a difference. When you're a fighter, you want to be the best. Devin Haney want to be the best. I don't care if he ain't got no goddamn power or not. You know, he wants to go through the fucking division. What y'all not understanding about that shit? He don't have to be Tank. He got the heart. That's what boxing is all about. A lot of you motherfuckers, all y'all care about tattoos and shit on motherfuckers' backs. It's like, what that got to do with boxing? You know what I'm saying? Even if you lose 6 straight, long as you come out there and you trying to fight the best in the division, that's what's important. You know, don't try to fight the motherfucker you could beat in one round. You know, like I said, Jaron Boots Ennis is not going to get shit from this fight, except that we see that no average is going to take somebody better than average to beat him. Now, when we see the next fight that he take, if it ain't Virgil Ortiz, guess what? There's going to be an exodus off the train of Jaron Boots Ennis. People are going to look at him like, bro, especially Tim Bradley going to be the first one. He's going to be like, bro, you know, if you don't fight Virgil Ortiz, Backroom, or Sebastian Fedora, get the hell up out of here. And, you know, full kind of boxing, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be like Jaron Boots Ennis, you know, we ain't here to buy no pay-per-views, no the zone prescriptions. All them shit's got to go. You know, if you don't get your ass out there, you know what I'm saying, and fight the best. We tired of it. We tired of this shit. You know. But I do believe Boots is gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna pan out. And I just want to see the other fighters, you know what I'm saying, do the same. Right? You know, because everybody's like, we putting so much on the fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's boxing fan. But fuck, we the ones paying the fucking subscriptions. We the ones who following. We looking at them on Instagrams. We studying their past and everything they do. We doing all this bullshit and they don't even appreciate the shit. So the best you could do is fight some of the fights that we want to see in the division. You even Abdullah Mason says shit, you should be trying to dominate the division. Not number 15, but goddamn number 2, number 3, number 2, number 1. You know, fight the best in the damn division. What's wrong with that? When did we get to the point where, you know, it's cool to fight number 75? You know what I'm saying? No, nigga, we're not having that. We're not having that. We're paying too much money. Life is too hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like niggas are out here, you know, making life decisions. Pay the lights or goddamn watch this damn fight. No, we need y'all to make it do what it do. You're getting paid millions of dollars, you know. If you're not getting paid millions of dollars, work yourself up to it by fighting who you're supposed to fight. So we need to get boxing back, saying the way it's supposed to be. Now that we got a lot of the older heads out the way, what I'm saying? Let's bring in this new boxing era the way it's supposed to be. And let's get some of these channels to talk about boxing the way it's supposed to be talked about. Fuck the fanboyism. I don't care. If my favorite fighters are not doing right, guess what? I'm gonna tell you like it is. I listen to my subscribers. I listen to what they're saying because I know they all boxing aficionados. You know, everybody got the boxing knowledge. I rarely get casuals in my fucking chat. Rarely, because if I say one thing off, they own that shit. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing but boxing aficionados in my shit. I ain't got no damn casual. I don't have no casuals in my fucking thing. They know everything about boxing. So it's like we got to get this shit back directed towards the best fighting the best. We need to hold these fighters accountable, no matter how much you like them. You know, I'm not talking about other channels because if you want your channel to blow, you know how to do it. I'm not saying run your shit the way you want to run it. You know, I'm just telling you. Being neutral and calling it like it is the way of being authentic, right? You know, I mean, so if you see Devin Haney trying to fight the best fighters, call it out. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody ducking, call that shit out. I don't give a fuck how much you love them. You know, that's the only way this thing is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I have different kind of conversations with guys behind the scenes, and it's like, bro, you know, make it 100%, man. We can make this thing grow again, but all this fake ass shit from these fake channels and people just trying to get likes and views and stuff. I don't care if I got two people in my goddamn chat. I really don't. Long as we talking boxing, that's where the passion is, right? Telling this like it is, right? I've taken losses over the years, didn't want to come on this motherfucker live, what I'm saying? But I did it because, that's what was happening, not what was real. That's what's happening in real time. And I think people have a hard time, you know, like facing reality, once they understand the truth. The truth will set everybody free in boxing. And I think we just got a lot of people that's getting a lot of cash, what I'm saying, from being fake. And there's no need to be fake when everybody, y'all boxing aficionados yourself. You already know what time it is. So when a motherfucker come up here faking, it may last for a little while, but in the end, the shit is bullshit, right? So, this is a big test for Devin Haney. This is that I was telling King Judah. I said, man, this is going to really determine how he's going to be in the rest of his career. Is he going to be a name or is he going to be a journeyman? This shit is going to right. This is why it's so important for Devin Haney. Despite what you think of his daddy, this is a litmus test. Is he going to be able to survive at 147? Is he going to be able to fight the other champions? This is a signature fight for him, and that's why it's so important. What Jaron Boots Ennis did today, he was supposed to do. He's supposed to do that, and I'm glad he passed the test because it would have been a bigger story if you what's his name Lima, if he would have gave Boots any problems. That would have been a bigger story for him to go out there and did what he was supposed to do. So I'm glad I didn't fight. I didn't get the zone prescription subscription because this is what Boots supposed to have done. Being a phenom. What I'm saying, I call him the Black Thunder God of Philly. You know, and that's what I feel about him. I say he's a exceptional talent. And I hope he continues that. But the moment Boots steps out the way, I'll be the first to call it out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can call Full Kind of Boxing a lover of just, a fanboy of one fighter, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I listen to what people say. You know, like shit. You know what I'm saying? Is the dude ducking? You know what I'm saying? If he don't fight Virgil Ortiz Jr. next, I listen. Look, why is this guy not moving forward like he's supposed to? We got a whole pack, whole division full of talent. You know, he got to hit. He got to hit somebody's good, no matter which way he goes. Backroom, Sebastian, um, shit. No matter where he go, there's nothing but talent. So this is going to really make or break Jaron Boots Ennis if he's the truth or not. So that's what I got to say on that, because this guy was supposed to be. He's not a stepping stone. He's just a tune-up. You know. So we'll see what Boots do next. But as far as Devin coming up, and then you got David Benavidez. You know, if he let Anthony Yard goes in there and he let Anthony Yard handle him, then he's not ready for Better Be or Bivol. He's not ready for him. If Yard gives Devin Benavidez any kind of trouble, because we know that Yard has failed, you know, in his task against Arthur Beterbiev. He's failed in his task against Kovalev. He's up there. He's got skills, but he's just not. He's just a front runner, you know. So these are the tests that these guys need to go through for us to be able to assess, are they on the next level? You know what I'm saying? And David Benavidez is making his undisputed run right now. This is an interesting time for Devin, for some of the great fighters who are going to be the great fighters of the future. You need to watch, because this is what's happening, man. This is a test for these guys. You know, they're going out. You know, Crawford ain't gonna be here. You know, these are the old heads that's going out. I don't know how people could say this is a Crawford era just because he took out Canelo. I never thought Canelo was was all that dude. I never thought he was that dude. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. But we're coming out of a fake boxing era, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully into a more authentic one. That's what I'm hoping. So without the propaganda, of course, it's still going to be there. You know what I'm saying? But I want a more honest uh, boxing era. You know what I'm saying? And have those special fighters like Shushu, them, break out. You know, Dula Masons. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Tiger Johnson. I haven't heard shit from Tiger Johnson. There's a lot of fighters we haven't heard from in this era. Tiger Johnson should be at 147. I think he would. Where's he at 147? Where the fuck is Tiger Johnson? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of fighters that got a great talent that we haven't heard from. Where the fuck is Tiger Johnson? Somebody I did videos on. Don't see him. You know, I know Top Rank looking for a home, but Tiger Johnson is a polished mother. Y'all go look him up. Tiger Johnson is a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like some guys that y'all should be talking about right now. He should be on par with Jaron Boots Ennis. Really, he's been in the game that long. Why haven't he fought? Why Tiger Johnson don't have a belt? Oh my God. I mean, well, I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I could go on about, you know, I could go on about this shit forever, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I just be into my own thoughts. but Judah, what do you think, man? What is the thing that's what keeps Devin? What people to be such a good talent and to be such a polished kid? What is the thing that people hate about Devin so much? I don't
I
get it.
mean,
What?
I told you it started off as something as innocent as, the fan base got split a long time ago with the black fan base. When Tank Davis became the guy, then Devin Publican went after Tank Davis. He became the enemy. But what exacerbated the problem was when you had a lot of YouTube channels who weren't already on top. They wasn't the main big YouTube channel, but they found a niche. And if I start my channel praising Tank and hating Devin, then, you know, I can boost my views. And that's what happened, bro. You have a think tank of people who have channels and they all spread these narratives about Devin. That's why you hear so many lies told. Like the brother we was just talking to, you can tell he listened to these think tanks because the narrative that Devin-Haney is the reason why he not rematching Ryan Garcia and that Ryan didn't turn the fight down. That is a direct result of the think tanks that spread these lies to their viewers, because they have their viewers thinking that Devin-Haney wasn't trying to get a rematch with Ryan Garcia. They tell you that Devin sued Ryan to get his O removed when Devin had nothing with getting that O removed. That it was nothing Devin can do to get that O off his record. The boxing officials or whoever running boxing decided that Devin was gonna get his O back. Devin had nothing to do with it. Devin suing Ryan was all about to force Ryan into the rematch, because Ryan agreed that if you take off the lawsuit, if you drop the suit, I'll fight you. And that's what Devin wanted. But not only that, they refused to admit the fact that even after Ryan lost to Rolly, everybody said, well, damn, Ryan messed the fight up. Now him and Devin not going to rematch. Devin was on record for saying, I'm still going to fight him. I don't care that he lost. But they would tell you, but the narrative is Devin don't want the rematch.
And I can back you up because the research that I did, you know, you're exactly right. He sued for the rematch, but they framed it and propagandized it is that he was suing them because of the loss. And I thought that was dirty as hell. But that's part of the game. But for Devin-Haney, it was so important. And they see, let me tell y'all something. It was so important for Devin to get that rematch to save his reputation. But they kept it away from him for that reason. Black people need to stop being so goddamn naive. It's like they know how to tear your shit down. It's like they know Devin needed that rematch. You know, even though I don't know if he would have won that bitch being that close to the way he got fucked up. You see, because you know, once you get a devastating beat down like that, it's hard to recuperate from something like that. I'm glad Devin took a year off. You know, but at the same time, they know Devin needed that rematch to repair his reputation, and they wasn't going to give it to him. These motherfuckers are toxic. These motherfuckers are toxic nowadays. They don't want you to recover your fucking your reputation. It ain't like the Floyd Mayweather days where go ahead.
Yeah, it is not. But what make it worse is that Devin wanted this rematch. But again, you got these think tanks, and I expect old media and non-black people to do this to Devin. But you have black people who are also spreading the narrative that Devin don't want the rematch. Oh, he sued Ryan like he wasn't chasing the rematch. You know what I'm saying? That's what make it worse, that Devin actually want this rematch to get it back in blood. And to go back to the whole thing about what Devin is now shaking hands with Ryan, what people don't realize is that the fight is supposed to be back on. For whatever reason, Ryan Garcia is ready for this rematch. Now, this is what I think. Ryan Garcia is a piece of shit, right? But I think these dudes do have a history, and somewhere on the inside, Ryan Garcia feel fucked up about what he did. And it's a lot of money on the table. I'm not denying the fact that they both gonna make a lot of money for it. But for whatever reason, Ryan Garcia is in talks with Devin to give him that rematch. That's why they being cool with each other.
All right, y'all keep it going. I'm trying to reboot my damn computer because the damn power, my damn charger was up. Y'all keep it going.
Yeah. So you asked me earlier. You was like, why is there so much hate against Devin? It didn't start out as this hate. It was more so that Devin was a fighter that people didn't prefer over the fighter that they liked the most, which was Tank Davis. What made this get out of hand is when you had a lot of YouTubers that came in at the same time that this beef was at the height of its inception, which was about 2.5 years ago, maybe. And these people built their channels off praising Tank and hating Devin. And they spread and narratives was created in these think tanks. And this is why Devin-Haney is hated so much. That's why you got the narrative that, oh, we don't like Devin, we don't hate Devin, we just hate Bill Haney. Well, the whole thing is Bill Haney didn't do nothing nobody else ever did, because I gave you the example earlier that just like Tank Davis has a camp that says things that's unfavorable about him, Everybody understands the difference of delineating between what they say versus what Tank Davis say. So you're not able to hold Tank accountable for what his camp says. But these things tanks have made it normal to hold Devin accountable for what Bill says. This is that's automatic proof that it has nothing to do with Bill Haney. You just have different stipulations for the Haneys than you do for everybody else. Because Brian Norman Sr. doing the same thing that Bill Haney doing. You don't hear the world saying we hate Brian Norman Jr. because Brian Norman Sr. out there talking shit about the Haneys. That's because they hate the Haneys. Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. are building their resume and building their fame and their portfolio and their fan base off the hate of Devin Haney. So just like these YouTubers did, everybody saw an opportunity to use the hate for Haney to build themselves up. Ryan Garcia was no different. Ryan Garcia knew that he couldn't beat Devin without juice. Now, if Ryan Garcia was faced with any other fighter where he had to use juice to fight them, he wouldn't have fought them. But he saw an opportunity knowing that if I juice against Devin, Devin is the only fighter in the world that I can take steroids, beat him, and Devin Haney will get bashed for it. Only with Devin Haney is this possible. So what I'm telling you where it started at, the main thing that has Devin getting so much hate, it was the YouTube channels and the think tanks and the vacuums that was created to hate Devin Haney and to have a safe space to hate Devin, lie on Devin, come up with narratives, and then push these narratives amongst each other. That's why all these channels you see that push a lot of Devin Haney hate and they praise Tank Davis, they are not cool and don't associate with anybody that would hold Tank Davis accountable or anybody that would give Devin Haney credit. That's because these channels was created in essence, and they whole channel, their whole brand is built off the praise of Tank and the hate of Devin. That's why it's getting so crucial, because what's about to happen is that what we're going to see in a few months or maybe a year is Tank Davis is on his way out of boxing. That's half of their fan base. It's going to be gone when they can no longer talk about Tank. The other thing that's going to happen, their biggest fear, is that Devin Haney is going to win against Brian Norman Jr. and win his rematch against Ryan Garcia. At that point, Devin would have rectified all the doubts about him. These channels are going to crumble when they can no longer misguide their fan base to hate Devin for no reason if Devin is being successful and Tank Davis is no longer even in boxing. You are going to see a lot of fans leave the boxing YouTube sector because they won't have nothing. They won't have a narrative to follow. It would be no more hating Devin, and there would be no Tank to praise. These people are scrambling right now.
Well, my problem is, okay, I understand the grifter thing, but my problem is because if you know boxing, you don't have to sensationalize. I guess you do. Remember what I was telling you, that I don't care about being a big channel because you be pressured to keep up shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Southpaw and all them niggas, they always, saying salacious shit about fighters and shit, making up shit. And I don't want to be that kind of boxing channel. I just like to be the kind of boxing channel where you can come and talk the truth about the fights. You know what I'm saying? So, they got to keep making up shit. They got to keep bringing up like inside information that ain't inside information. I don't want to be that kind of channel. I just want to be a channel like where we could come and all the boxing aficionados can come and talk about what's happening. That's it. It's like once you get big, now all of a sudden you got to get all these clicks and views and all this shit. You're pressured. I don't want that pressure. I don't give a fuck if I have 2 people in my chat. As long as we talking about what's happening in boxing, that's what it is, right? That's what I like about. That's what I love about this space. There's enough. There's enough for everybody. If you like the sensationalized shit, you can go over here. If you like the people that's whatever. We got enough in this space for everybody, man. But my thing is, be honest, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop going with, who's popular. Because you see with Tank, everything has gotten destroyed behind, you know, a fighter that don't even want the same shit that we believe in. If you believe in legacy, Tank, I see motherfuckers changing their whole beliefs about boxing because of Tank. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like if I was behind Roy Jones Jr. and he's like, I'm all about the money. I'm not fighting, say anybody I don't want to fight. He wouldn't have fought Bernard Hopkins. He wouldn't have fought Tony shit. What's Tony last name? Tony Lights Out Tony. He wouldn't have fought him because I don't want to fight them. No, he wouldn't have fought them because he wanted to be the best. So it's like I don't understand how these niggas. I don't understand how these niggas be out here like we don't see you caping for your favorite fighter, and there's nothing, no moves that he do. You have no problems with it. You find an excuse for it, and it's like, bro, I can't really mess with you, bro, because you're not calling it like it is, right? That's my problem with a lot of these channels because it makes them a lot of money to be in favor with what people believe, right? Just say what you believe, and if people don't like it, they don't fuck with you. They don't fuck with you. That's just what it is. That's my thing. I don't care if it makes you the most popular boxing channel or whatever. I listen to that dude. I don't know if you listen to that dude, True Media. I hate that dude. I hate that little motherfucker. I really hate him because he's such a media plant. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, he came in against the LDBC. He came in against to influence everybody. The boxing voice. If they hate a promotional company, they go against that company. It's like, bro, why is boxing like this? But I guess anything where there's big money, there's gonna be influencers, there's gonna be propaganda, and it's gonna be, wherever the money is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could be on some shit like that, but it's like, why? It's like, come on, we need more channels that's just telling it like it is, and not worried about sponsorship, not worried about deals and like showbiz and shit like that, and worried about people sponsoring them. We don't need that kind of boxing information. You know, I mean, I mean, if I could be a full-time content creator, that'd be good, but they wouldn't like me because soon as they fight or say something or do something that's wrong, I'm calling the shit out. Like, I want that freedom. I want that autonomy to be able to, call the shit out. And I want people to be able to come up and speak about the shit. And they don't want that. They want to shut out all kind of arguments against what they're doing. So we need more free media, what I'm saying, for people to, for real journalists or, real people with their real opinions, to come out and say, this is wrong, bro. You need to be moving this way, not that way. You're taking the easy way out. Or, what I'm saying, this fighter is really taking the real challenges. For a long time, we sat back and watched Canelo fight an easy European tour with network deals, and nobody spoke out on the shit. We watched that. We watched the fighters that do it the right way fall by the wayside because they get worn out. What I'm saying, going through the gauntlet. And we don't admit the shit. We act like the shit ain't real. These fighters only got a certain amount of fights on them to fight at a high level, right? And you got to make those names the best names you got before you hit your 30s. Really, when you hit your 30s, it's not a death sentence, but you're not in your prime. So, when you fighting your best fights, it's got to be, in your prime, bro. We getting these fights when these guys are 33, 32, 34, going into their 30s, and they fighting less. They're not fighting. We look back into the Jack Johnson days where niggas fought twice, three times a week, all kind of bullshit like that, crazy shit. Fighting, every week. What I'm saying? Fighting, I mean, with broken hands, and it's like, how can you compare this generation to the generation from before when they fought 128 fights? What I'm saying? We looking at these soft ass motherfuckers fighting once a year. What I'm saying? They crying about that shit. What I'm saying? It's like, come on now, stop. Stop trying to compare generations. It ain't, motherfucker waiting for one motherfucker to grab all the belts and you come and fight him at the end. Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, I can't deal with that. Yeah, people can say what they want. Everybody got an opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But I'm telling you, if you didn't go through the division and you didn't fight the other champions, somebody might have had a style for your ass to beat you, but you didn't fight them because you only fought one person. So miss me with all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we got to get boxing back the way it's supposed to be. And if it don't come back, then it is what it is. You know, we just have to deal with what we got. So, I'm just looking at it, from an old school point of view way. you know um don't have to be the most popular, but if you want the truth, you can come to Pull Kind of Boxing, and if you want to say what you got to say, you come over here, what I'm saying, and say what you got to say, what I'm saying, and you're going to be heard, and you're not going to be blocked out because you like Tank Davis. You're not going to be blocked out because you like Devin Haney. You're not going to be blocked out because you like Boots or Terrence Crawford. I'm gonna listen to it all, and we're gonna, I'm gonna let you be heard. We need more boxing channels like this, where everybody can, say what's really going on in the damn sport, because it's just too many people just getting the clicks and views and worried about all that shit. You know, we need more boxing purists in this thing. We need more boxing aficionados, open channels to where they're talking about real boxing. You know, that's why I don't be caring. What you say? What you
Look,
say, Key?
Look, let me tell you, that's another thing. So you brought that up about about the fighters going back to, people fighting and, the truth being told in boxing. Somebody in your comment just made me think about something. They said now that pay-per-view is over with, that's because of Turkey, right? That now maybe the best will fight the best. It's a mighty strange coincidence that when Turkey first stepped on the scene, right? All these same channels that was praising people like Tank, these the same channels that hated Turkey. They hated Turkey because they seen the writing on the wall. If Turkey is there and pay-per-view is not important, so you can't say I'm not fighting you because you won't bring in the money. Because see, now the money coming directly from Turkey, and the fight gonna be on free TV, so it's not pay-per-view. That means Tank Davis don't have, he can't duck people off the premise that you are nobody and you won't bring me money. Turkey don't care about how much your opponent sell. He gonna pay you. He don't care about how much your opponent sell. If Turkey think your opponent is good enough to beat you, Turkey want to see you fight him. And that's why all Tank Davis fan channels hate Turkey Al-Ashik. They hate him.
But
All of
what's the one thing you hate about him? Because I know you're a boxer pure. What's the one thing you hate about Turkey? And I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about him. What you
them.
dislike?
The only thing I heard him saying, which I think he was bluffing, he was talking about he didn't like the fact that fighters can fight on the outside. He basically want to see a
There you go.
slugfest every time. He
There
want to
you
see a
go. I
slugfest.
knew you was. See, I knew that was some shit I knew that you would say. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
He didn't.
Right. You hit it, boy. I took a chance with that, but I knew you would hit it. I said, "What you don't like about this nigga?" Right?
Yeah, that's the only thing. But it sounded like he was. It seemed like he was bluffing because remember he kept saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a ring that keeps shrinking every round." I was like, "This nigga crazy," but he was just talking shit, bro. Like, but really and truly in his heart, he do want to see a slugfest. But I do think he trying to keep. I think even though he like to see slugfest, I do think he understand that they got boxing purists that still like boxing because he still haven't tried to change boxing to the point where you can't box, right? Because
Well,
he really did.
TKO has not really lifted off yet. So
Yeah,
that's the shit right there. Like, if he could have it, I think he would have it controlled where, like, it's some UFC shit where they have to go at each other and it be intense like that.
right,
But boxing is different. Whatever strategy you got in boxing, whether you're an outside boxer, inside boxer, a little bit of both, a combination, you win how
right.
you can win. So, he's trying to get to he's trying to cut all that out. He don't like the Tom and Jerry. Shut your
Right.
mouth, bro. You ain't never been in the motherfucking ring. It's like, what you talking about, Tom and Jerry? You still taking punches, bro.
Right.
No matter if you move or not, you got to stand your ground at some point.
Right, because
And,
guess
and,
what?
and
All of us to step in there, all of us who not trained, we can go in there and try to run all we want, and we gonna get stopped and knocked out.
exactly, So I don't want to see. Well, I understand that he's putting the millions behind the bank, but and but you break it into a market, an American market. The American style is to hit and don't get hit. That's the American style, the black style. You know, Pernell Whitaker hit and don't get hit. But when Whitaker wanted to bang, he banged. You know what I'm saying? Our heavyweights, they bang. It ain't just a hit and don't get hit. You know, they slick a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? When you got the power to go in there and take care of business, they do that. So they put us into a box, but they allow the Europeans to be whatever they want. It's always been like that. You know what I'm saying? Let the Europeans, whatever style they adopt, it's cool. Right now, Jack Catterall is with Boots Ennis trying to learn the American style. Jack Catterall, Cat Cottrell. Is it Cottrell or Catterall? Either
They
way,
call him Catterall.
Catterall. He's with Boots Ennis right now. Tyson Fury went to Emmanuel Stewart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's some undercover shit where they know we got the superior style, but yet you know what I'm saying on the world stage, it's like they still want to downplay American boxing style, right?
Right. Yeah, and like you said, they put our fighters in a box. Let me give you a perfect example of what you just said, Paul. They'll tell you that Devin Haney, they don't like Devin Haney or Shakur because they run, right? They run, they don't got power and they run.
Right.
But on the flip side, you got Deontay Wilder who didn't run at all and had all the power in the world. And what y'all said, he don't box enough. They don't. Our fighters can't win for
They
nothing.
knew
Yeah,
because King, they knew he wasn't a boxer. They knew
right,
he was a knockout artist. If you want to talk about a true knockout artist, and that's what people like, goddamn, Deontay Wilder was number one, bro. He was just athletic with it. So he got by with more than the conventional fighter would because he was slim, sleek, he was wiry, he had reach.
right.
But
But
that's
it just
only
go
gonna
to show
last.
that our fight, they not gonna let our fighters win though. Like I say with Wilder, y'all on one hand, y'all say we don't like people because they run. Devin run. He run and he don't have power. Shit. Well, Wilder always stand right in front of his opponents and knock them out. Y'all don't like him either.
Hell, they didn't like Ward either. Ward
Right.
grinded out and took, but it don't matter what the hell you do. It don't matter. It's, if you're not, if they don't like you, it don't matter, bro. Look at Roy Jones. Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, it don't fucking matter what you are. So you better just understand that you that's why Floyd is the way he is. You know. That's why Floyd, because he know there's no winning in this game. You know, you just got to do what you got to do for you. And I understand that shit, but at the same time, it's like, damn. It's like I just wish they gave these fighters they fucking credit, bro. I just wish they gave them their credit, bro, because there's nobody been able to touch. I mean, Tyson. I mean, think about it. Mike Tyson didn't win none of the damn top fights that he's supposed to win. He didn't win none of the top fights. Yet they look at Tyson as is he one of the best? And I think it was Teddy Riley that was saying you're nobody until you lose. I'm like, man, if you don't get the fuck up out of here,
Right.
you're
They
nobody
don't
until
like.
you lose.
Yeah, they don't like that undefeated, bro, because it's mostly our fighters that's able to pull that off. That's why they hate undefeated fighters, because shit, our fighters be the ones that pull that off. You know what I'm saying? Floyd, Crawford, though they did it in different ways. But that take me back to what I was thinking about earlier, bro. I was arguing with people online, bro. I'm so mad, bro. I get mad when I hear people saying stuff like Crawford is the best ever. Oh, Crawford is better than Mayweather, bro. Like, yeah, you can miss me with that, bro. Crawford is not better than no Mayweather, and he is not the best ever, bro. Period. Period. Because they got certain eras that I put Crawford in. If you put Crawford in the era with Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns, and Hagler, he gonna take a loss somewhere in that gun. He gonna take
And
a loss somewhere.
and you could put Mayweather in there too because it was it was so ironic. And y'all listen to me. It was so ironic that Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Sr. got his ass beat by Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. And you know what he did to crack that Philly shell? He beat on his arm. He just beat up his arms to crack the Philly shell. And let me tell you something. Floyd Mayweather Sr., y'all go watch that fight. Go Google it. Floyd Mayweather, it wasn't like he wasn't countering. He just didn't have the power of his son. He ain't had the power of his son to keep Leonard off him. But Leonard had such distance and range control and speed that he just beat Floyd Sr. down, bro. He was just too small for that fucking division. You know, because Leonard is a big welterweight. Really,
Right.
he's like 154 pounder. And he was beating the fuck out of Floyd Mayweather Sr. And Floyd
But
Mayweather, he kept trying that Philly shell. He was tearing that fucking shoulder up until he
but I'm gonna
choked
say
him
this.
down.
I feel you, poor. I feel. I know where you're getting at, bro. You know, I know you're from that golden era, bro. And I see what you're saying, bro. But I think Floyd Jr. is way better than Floyd Senior.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if
Yeah.
you listen to what I'm saying, he's way better than his dad was. But what I'm saying is, when you talk about 15 rounds, when you talk about the guys that the journeyman was just as tough as the top guys, but they were missing certain elements, right? You know, you had the Aaron Pryors, you know what I'm saying, that was moving that. You had the Tommy Hearns. It was a lot more guys that was more, there was more from the street and they
Right.
had nothing else but boxing.
Right.
In this era, guys it's not like that for these
They
guys.
rap. A lot of the dudes that wouldn't make good boxers, they want to be rappers now. So I think that's the biggest difference of why the golden era was the golden era. Because back then, if you can fight, you ended up being a fighter. You see what that makes sense to you? Like
Yeah.
nowadays, the reason why you don't have so many great fighters is because a lot of these dudes that would have been fighters, they scammers or they trying to be rappers. You see what I'm saying? They doing other
Well,
shit.
like if you go back and you watch those Tyson fights, people think that Tyson, he went through those guys, but if you see how those guys fought Tyson, they would fucking Tyson up. Them
Yeah.
guys, them guys were fucking Tyson up. Tyson was just tough enough and young enough to get through it. Go back and watch all the Tyson fights, and you will see these guys were in the. They were on Tyson. Tyson just had punch resistance, y'all. He had punch resistance. Them guys were tough back then. Them guys wasn't like these guys where they get hit a couple of times and they get fucked up and they folding. No, go back and watch the old fights and watch guys getting hit. They kept coming through that shit. You had guys bleeding out, coming
Right.
forward. It was like that Rocky shit. Like that's why when you see the older guys, it's like, man, these guys are pussy punk. Man, you had white guys back then, man, that would fucking take a hellacious shot and be looking at you. Like
I
that's all
think
you
I
got.
think pretty I think Pretty Boy Floyd, like if you throw, I think Pretty Boy Floyd can hang in that era, bro. I don't know about Money Mayweather. I think all them fighters except Duran was too much for Floyd to be able to just sit there in a shell
Bro,
without getting hit.
bro,
But
Floyd speed and athletic ability, his defense, having it all in one was a phenom type thing. And that was
right,
the problem. He was a combination. He had Roger Mayweather who had the experience. He had his dad who had the experience, and they created a phenomenal uh fighter because without Roger, Floyd took licks. But when his daddy came back in, what I'm saying, he didn't get touched. So
right,
it's like the philosophy between those two fighters made the perfect fighter. And
right.
and Floyd listened to them and he learned from the experience till he could do it himself. And
Yeah, I think Floyd can beat Duran, of course. I think he could have beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I ain't saying that he just outright beat Sugar Ray Leonard, but I think that
Mm,
would have been a
I
I
think
think that would have
Leonard.
been a fight.
This is why I say Leonard was different because Leonard had the speed, the athletic, and he had power,
Yeah,
and he had creativity, and he wasn't scared of nobody. He was a fighter with all that shit. So him and Floyd was, and he was a thinker in the ring.
yeah,
The only thing I think Floyd had better than Leonard was Floyd wasn't for to let no outside people influence him. He was mentally he was a lot more. He knew who he was. Floyd was comfortable with who he was. Leonard was not.
yeah.
Leonard. Mhm.
I was just naming him off because I'm thinking about the four kings. That's why I'm just saying the people I think he could have beat. Because the reason I said he could beat Leonard because I think that's a fight he could win. A fight that I don't think Floyd can win ever, bro, was against Hagler. I think Hagler was always too big and too strong for Floyd Mayweather at every point in Floyd's career. I don't think he would
Yeah,
have ever
well,
been
we
able to
talking
handle
about
Hagler.
middleweights, but you talking about middleweights though.
Oh, yeah,
You,
that was a middleweight. Now that's not welterweight.
you
All right,
talking
I
about
got you.
middleweights.
Well,
Hagler.
Tommy Hearns might have been too much for him too at welterweight.
Well, I mean, you saw you. Well, I don't know, man. That's Tommy Long. It's like
Right,
Tommy was he gonna find out. Tommy was like a pit bull. Like he was worse than the pit bull because he could outbox Leonard and stuff, but Tommy had weaknesses, his chin, and Leonard could be a brawler. Leonard, see, that's the thing I'm talking about. Leonard could switch up. He could be a brawler. He was a boxer puncher. He could be a counter puncher. He was just one of them versatile, like that's what we're looking at Boots.
right.
We're seeing if how versatile can he be? Can he adjust, to the fighter that he got in front of him? And back then you had so many fighters that really depended on eating through boxing. So you got some of the top athletes. You got some of the top tough guys that could take punches, and this is what they really concentrated on. They didn't have anything else, you know what I'm saying? And nowadays we got guys who, they don't have to depend on boxing the way these guys, they doing other things. They Uber drivers, they got jobs and shit like that. They got other shit they could do, computer, analysts, all this kind of shit they could do. Back then, it was nothing but, boxing. It wasn't nothing but, either you're going to the construction site or you're going to put everything you got into this fight. You know what I'm saying? And them guys, they went for it. It wasn't this Mayweather shit where, if you lose one fight, you were done. You know, they didn't make the money that these guys make either. So, back then it was more of a grind. So it's just like it's different for these guys today. You look at the Keith Thurman coming every 3 years, what I'm saying, fighting. And it's like, bro, no, I don't believe in that shit. Like, you come back every 3 years and shit, talking about he loves his life. It's more than life than boxing. Okay, well, I understand that. Well, go live your life, retire, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you come back after 3 years trying to fight the top guy, that's not gonna work. That guy, because Shabaka's Fedora been active. You see how he fucked up Tim Zoo? He
Yeah,
exposed Tim Zoo. It's like
yeah.
everybody thought. I never thought Tim Zoo. I see he keep throwing the right hand. How you don't
Me
see that
either.
fucking right hand?
I
It's
never
like, come
seen nothing
on.
in no zoo, bro. He beat a washed Tony Harrison, bro. That's it.
Well, he also. I mean, it's like they keep trying to build these fighters, and people who's watched boxing for a while, you're not gonna believe that shit. It's like, bro, you fighting people on their back half. Fight current fighters. Fight guys that's active. Fight guys that's on your level. And then, what I'm saying, you could believe in building these guys. You know what I'm saying? They're not fighting, they're fighting where they got a clear advantage. And it's like, uh, you know, they don't know how to build fighters anymore. You got to have a couple of fighters where you're both equal. you know. But they waiting to the end of their careers to fight somebody that's equal, and it's not panning out. They think, well, the boxing aficionados are not fooled by this. They're not fooled by this. It's like we watch too much boxing to know that, this guy's not on your level. It's like, so it's not an exciting fight, right? So we need to get more good journeymen, say in there that's in it to win it and trying to go for the upset. They tried to build up Lima like he was gonna upset Jaron Boots Ennis. Nobody believed that shit. I mean, I put it out there what they said, but who believes that this dude from Ghana is gonna beat the phenom from Philly? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. Now, if it would be interesting if Gary Antoine Russell moved up, but he would have to move up, damn, two weight divisions because him and Boots fought in the amateurs, and that was a good goddamn fight. You want to see somebody with athletic ability for athletic ability, and it's almost like they should have two different classes because the guys with athletic ability is just way too much for the guys who don't have it. Unless a guy's just so technically sound that he's on another level, and we don't see that in boxing every day. Because the guys with the athletic ability seem to be running, they just run away with it. Um, so it's just that we need more evenly matched fighters, and then they're not trying to do that. They're trying to build guys off of the advantages that they have in the ring. you know. So that's why it's so interesting to see if they make this Boots Virgil Ortiz fight. Because Golden Boy don't have a whole lot of stable in their stables. And they really running their reputation off of Virgil Ortiz Jr. If they lose him, who else do they got over there, Golden Boy? Who they really got left? You know what I'm saying? Oscar Valdez, I mean, shit, nobody cares about the fucking lighter weights. Who else Golden Boy got? So they got to protect them as long as they can. I'm trying to think, who else do Golden Boy have? You know, it's just, you know, Oscar De La Hoya himself fought everybody. We need to get back to that point to where all the fighters are willing to take the risk in the ring. And I think we're slowly but surely starting to get to that point, especially after Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis is a bigger scandal than people think, especially if he actually retires after the Jake Paul fight. I think that's gonna be I think that's really gonna change boxing. If he retires after the Jake Paul fight. But if he goes back and he fights Roach again, I think boxing is going to be okay. But if he retires after the Jake Paul fight, oh my God, man, this is going to take time to rebuild off that shit. Because we put so much stock in Tank Davis and who he was supposed to be as a fighter and his legacy. All the people that protected Tank, they look like idiots. You know, Everybody that down Devin, they look like idiots. Now they put their hopes into Shakur Stevenson. You know, so it's just, mm, it's just an ugly situation that we got going on. And Shakur got to make that Tio fight. He really gonna have to do that. If he can't get the Tio fight, who does Shakur Stevenson fight if you don't fight Tio? Who does he fight?
Bro, I think if Shakur don't get that fight, because a roach ain't gonna move the needle, bro. Like I think Shakur really me personally. The fights for Shakur, if he can't get a tank fight, not even at 135, bro. It'll be time for him to move up again if he want real smoke, because
Move
the
up.
smoke ain't there.
The
I
nigga
mean,
haven't
is
even
he you
proven his power at goddamn 140. I
but do you
mean,
think
it
he
ain't
gonna
nobody.
fight?
It ain't nobody at 147. So
But do you think he gonna fight unless he gonna fight at Abdullah Mason? I don't see that happening. You're not fighting
no,
Abdullah.
dude was too new for that. He,
Yeah.
he he would lose a fight to Shakur right now. You know.
I'm just saying, bro, he not gonna fight Shakur. if he don't fight Tank Davis, there's really nobody there for him. Because all Shakur gonna do is end up fighting
Keyshawn
the same type
Davis.
of fighters.
Keyshawn
He
Davis.
not gonna fight. He not gonna fight Keyshawn, bro.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's on the horizon. You know, you got Andy Cruz, right? Andy Cruz is getting out there real fast. You got two of the kings that's coming up to be king of the 135 division. So you talk about Andy Cruz versus Abdullah Mason is going to happen. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to happen. Nobody ain't thinking about these motherfuckers with fake belts that ain't
You
fighting
say
nobody.
Andy Cruz and Abdullah?
Yeah,
That's gonna be a good fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
bro,
Cruz better than Cruz. Nobody giving Cruz credit, bro. Cruz can fight his ass off, bro. That dude can fight.
bro. Andy Cruz, man, you seen him scrap,
Yeah, he can fight, bro.
bro. Andy Cruz with Goddess braids. Now y'all know how I feel about Goddess braids, but the motherfucker is that dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's way more polished than Abdullah Mason. He's way more he got more fights in, not professionally, but amateur wise. That fight right there, because Keyshawn done punked out already. He done already punked out. You know,
Yeah,
trying to move out, trying to get away from Andy Cruz because he done faced him in the Olympics, and he already know what kind of talent. And I think even Shakur Stevenson said that Andy Cruz is the thinker in the ring that will give him problems.
right.
He ain't said it that way, but you could tell by the respect that he put on Andy Cruz's name that that is the
Yeah,
dude.
Cruz sharp. Cruz sharp, bro. You heard when he told Keyshawn, I asked him about Keyshawn, and then Andy Cruz said, "Yeah, that's my son." He said, "My son." Man, he
Mhm.
called that man his son, bro. And Keyshawn ain't want no smoke, bro. That mean Keyshawn agree with him, bro. Andy Cruz, the way Andy Cruz said that was one of them things where, like, I know this dude can't beat me. Like, I know he can't beat me. He called him his son.
Hmm. And for Keyshawn to shy away from that challenge tells me a lot about Keyshawn.
Right.
That tells me a lot about who he is as a fighter, how he approaches boxing, the businessman. I'm just like, bro, I'm just like, I can't believe that ain't his first, because that's what's going to make him a superstar is fighting Andy Cruz. Hmm.
Yeah, I think Cruz gonna end up. Well, I ain't never thought about the Abdullah Mason fight, bro. That's a good ass fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta go with Abdullah because to me, Abdullah the next man up. And I think he gonna beat Cruz too, just off just pure athleticism, bro, and
But
talent.
if
You know what
but
I'm
if
saying?
but if you look at their fighting styles, who you think gonna win?
You talking about Abdullah and Cruz?
Yeah,
I
the,
don't
the,
have
the,
nobody beating Abdullah, bro.
bruh. Let me tell you something. That motherfucker Andy Cruz, he's small, he's short arms, all that shit. But man, when you talking about technique, um, Abdullah is Abdullah haven't faced the opposition yet, and I don't think it matters when it comes to Cruz. Cruz got he's got technique, he's got experience, amateur experience. I think he will beat Abdullah right now. Abdullah need more experience. He need experience. He need the rounds. He need to get his rounds up. Right now, all them 7 round shits he doing, he look good. But he gotta fight, some names, man. He gotta fight some veterans. He gotta get his big fight experience up. Believe me, I love me some Abdullah Mason, but he got spaces in his goddamn and he got spaces in his defense where
Yeah, he remind me of Boots, bro. They just get hit when they don't have to. They
I
don't have to
mean,
get hit.
but the way they get hit, what's the dude, the little Mexican dude with the shag that dropped Mason and shit? I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, man. I was like, bruh. You know, but Mason got up and handled his business. But if you talk about somebody with more experience, You know what I'm saying? That could get his ass up out of there. That's Andy Cruz, bro. Andy Cruz is like a veteran.
Yeah.
And that's why
I,
Keyshawn don't want no parts of 135. Hmm.
yeah, I'm not big on Keyshawn, bro. You know, I never liked Keyshawn, bro. He got a lot of Bud Crawford in him to me, bro. Like for real, for real. It's this smoke and mirrors with him, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Bro,
Yeah, I know
a
exactly
lot
what
of what he
you're
do is not authentic. It's a act, you
talking. Hmm.
know, and I don't like that, bro. And again, the fact that he's shying away from Cruz the way he is, the type of fighters I like, bro, they don't think like that. If they would have lost 4 times to somebody in the amateurs, that's gonna be the first fight they looking for in the pros. They not gonna shy away from that dude that beat them 4 times. You see what I'm saying?
And
And that's
that's
why I
what I
can't.
thought about. That's what I thought about Keyshawn at first because I covered the Olympics and I was like, man, he is gonna get this dude in the pros. And nah, he ain't want that smoke. He ain't want that
He,
smoke.
right, he don't
Yeah.
want no part of it. And
Mm-mm.
them fights that I seen with Keyshawn, then what else he pulled? Yeah, you been gone for a little minute. I ain't even get a chance to talk to you about what he did with De Los Santos. You call yourself trying to fight De Los Santos, right? And I'm thinking like,
And
damn,
come
bro,
here
Keyshawn.
overweight. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, look, yeah, I'm thinking in my mind, this what made me start liking Keyshawn. I'm like, bro, you gonna go after the dude that Shakur struggled with? I'm like, brother, you showing me some heart right now. Only for you to get in that press conference, right? Remember, he was sitting in that press conference, Abdullah Mason. Then you gonna fix your mouth to tell Abdullah that you gonna fight him too, right? Yeah, I'm gonna fight you too. Only for you to miss weight. That let me know that you knew you wasn't gonna make weight pull. So basically, you bluffed twice. You bluffed because you didn't think you can beat De Los Santos. That's why you wanted to
Hmm.
come in overweight. You wanted to come in overweight to have an
Hmm.
advantage because you didn't think you can beat him, and you knew you wasn't gonna fight Abdullah, but you bluffed in front of everybody and tried to call this man hands, knowing you wasn't gonna be at 135 for your next fight. So you lied twice to us about two different niggas.
Well, you articulated that so wonderfully. I was like,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
you articulated that so well. I thought the same thing. I said, this bitch did not want to fight De Los Santos. De Los Santos is that dude that's gonna he's gonna separate the real fighters from the weak fighters. I said,
right. He
man,
might not be the best. He might not be the best, but you got to be good to beat De Los Santos, right? That's exactly who De Los Santos is. He ain't the best, but you got to be damn good to beat him, though.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, Sean, tell me, Keyshawn, this ain't true. You know, you go
But
all the way
but
to
but
the
you
wire.
missed what he did with Mason though. See, it wasn't just that he didn't really think he can beat Abdullah, but you went up there and fixed your mouth to address Mason like, yeah, I'm gonna fight you next. But you knew in your heart you wasn't even gonna make weight to fight De Los Santos, so you knew you wasn't gonna be at 135 for your next fight. So you was bluffing. You was bluffing when you called Mason out.
Oh yeah, and I remember I saw the footage where Mason was like, he didn't know what Keyshawn was gonna do. He knew he was gonna do something and all that shit. And it's like Mason's like, bro, what's all this extra shit for the cameras? It's like,
Right,
we can fight next. It's just a fight. Like I
right,
love Abdullah Mason. I love his disposition because he don't look at it like an intimidation factor. He look at it like, it's business. If we can get the fight on, let's get it on. And all this
right,
extra shit, what you doing? It's like, you know what I'm saying? And for you, it's about trying to get the public to believe that you intimidated. No, nigga, we don't get intimidated. We professionals. And that leads me to believe that Keyshawn ain't as far along as I thought he was. He's a confident fighter, kind of like Tio, mentally back and forth. If it takes a lot for him to believe that he can beat the top fighters, and Keyshawn hasn't even started on his journey to beating top fighters yet. So to me, this boxing era is kind of weak because they talking shit before they even beat anybody. It's like, bro, you just getting started. Andy Ruiz, you could already tell. I mean, not Andy Ruiz, but Andy Cruz is already fighting everybody. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn. He's going through the ranks. You should have been going through the ranks. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can already tell who's kind of like gonna be there in the end and who's not. And I don't think Keyshawn. I think he's gonna be like Gervonta Tank Davis. I think he's just gonna try to fight the fighters that he want to fight. I think if he get that T.O. fight, I think T.O. gonna beat his ass. Um, I think he's gonna be highly disappointed on the things that you know on the things that he's weak in because he didn't go through it the right way. T.O. is, even though I don't like T.O., but I think T.O. is a way better fighter than Keisha. I think he's been through um, a lot of the championship moments that it's going to take for him to be able to overcome a fight like that. I think he was school Keisha. I think Keisha is a nice fighter. But he needs temperament. He needs to go out there and go through some shit, and he hasn't done that yet. He's still riding on that amateur shit, and he need to go through some adversity and overcome that shit, he ain't tested at all. T.O. done had his losses. He done been through that shit. So I think he would destroy Keyshawn ass if he ever get up in there with Keyshawn. Keyshawn needs a lot more experience. Uh, Stop riding on the coattails of Shakur Stevenson, who really he's untested as well. You
Right.
know, a lot of these guys are untested that we mentioned over the last 5 to 6 years. They still untested. You know
That's
what
why
I'm
when
saying?
people talk about Shakur, they always, oh, Shakur did this and he got this many bills. I'm like, bro, Shakur resume, bro. Shakur fought a lot of, I don't even know what to call them, bro. Like a lot of them not even real tomato cans. They just above tomato cans. That's
Hmm.
Shakur
Hmm.
resume. That's his resume.
Like Oscar Valdez and hearing.
Yeah.
Hearing is, I could say hearing is a little solid, but hearing ain't he ain't that dude you was like, oh man, he beat hearing. He's still, but it puts him above, kind of like when Javante Davis fought Pedraza. You know what I'm saying? Pedraza ain't known as the top guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he beat a champion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these guys, they just don't want to do the work. They don't want to. I thought when Tank fought Marius Barrios, I thought that was a good win. But if he would have stayed at 140, I would have been more impressed. If he would have
Right.
stayed at 140.
Right. So even with Shakur resume, right? People talk about, so they try to say that last fight, oh, Zapata this, bro. Zapata don't move the needle because I believe De Los Santos will knock Zapata out.
Yeah.
So that's to me, that was going backwards.
Well, I think it was the biggest name on, that he built up. Cepeda, you saw them trying to build up because they tried to make that fight a while back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they, it's like they don't want to feed certain fighters to, bad matchups.
Right.
And they already knew that was a bad matchup. You know what I'm saying? They knew that was a bad matchup. But I'm surprised they made that fight. But they already see, they know the fights that will help fighters reach the next level. They know that shit. You know what I'm saying? And for Zepeda to come out and get that fight the way they fought, you know, it's gonna take more than that. If you see, I think De Los Santos was more of the fight that would have really moved the needle for Shakur.
Right.
I thought that was the fight that would start bringing him into the special fighter we think he is. And when he kind of failed that test, when he failed that test right there, then he's like, oh man, Shakur, he's not panning out. You know what I'm saying? He's just not. He's not going to be able to make the adjustments. You know what I'm saying, to be able to fight a power fighter. So if he treat every fighter that has power the way he does with Nakatilia and Edwin Sanders, he's not going to be that dude. He's not going to work out.
Right.
He's not going to work out because he's going to have more engagement than he has shown, you know, in these fights. He's going to have it, because nobody wants to see somebody run around the ring, and I rarely say run around the ring, but he really ran around the ring when it came to De Los Santos.
Yeah, he
Um,
did.
so you know that's the only problem with Stevenson. And then depending on how he fight Tio, if this fight ever comes, they say that the fight is going to happen. But we clearly don't know because Tio is so Tio. You never know what's going to happen with Tio.
Yeah,
Um, but if he has a good performance with Tio and have a dominance performance against Tio, then I think Shakur has a chance to become a star. He's still teetering on that little level where you don't know if he's going to be special or is he just going to be a high contender, but never that dude that's on a consistent level. And
right.
but because he's not fighting Matias, he's not fighting any of the other champions at 140. I think he could be. I'm surprised he didn't go after Richardson, Hitchens Richardson. I think that would have been a better opponent for him. Just to get a belt and to be able to operate in that division. I think that would have been an easier task for him rather than Tio. Because I think Tio's going to be a good fight for him. That's going to be an excellent fight for him if they could get that made. So shit. And then I guess if he could handle that division, then maybe they could get a Devin Haney, um, Shakur Stevenson fight going on.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. See, with that being said, bro, because whenever I look back on that fight against when that happened, when Devin offered Shakur that fight, bro, the only thing I can come up with, my logic just keep telling me that Shakur was not confident he can beat Devin. If you don't think you can beat Devin while you know he weight drained, what make me think Shakur gonna want to fight Devin at full strength?
Well,
I just
I
don't.
think
I don't think he was confident.
well, what'd you say, Retro Gamer? Shakur didn't go for undisputed. There's a lot of talent down there. I don't know if he having problems making 135 or what it is, but for some reason, he's overlooked. Maybe it's the names because Tank is the biggest name at 135. There's no other names at 135 that resonate like Tank Davis Jr., right? So without Tank, I guess he figured the rest ain't worth it. But see, he don't understand that if you go ahead and beat out all the other names, then there's no other you the man. You the man at 135 to beat. You become the star at 135. If Tank don't want to fight you, that make him look bad. You go ahead and take out all the other champions at 135. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why he ain't looking at it that way. So he moved up to try to fight Tio, and you got to go through a lot to try to get Tio focused on a fight. But if he could beat Tio, that'll be a validation that he's ready for 140, and he's ready to. I don't know about taking over 140, but do I believe Shakur could beat Antoine Russell? I think Russell got the perfect style for To, not To, but Shakur to beat. I think Russell got the perfect style for Shakur to outbox. Um, Matias too. You know who I think would give Shakur the worst problems at 140? I think Peblo would give him the worst problem.
Yeah, dude, Puelo.
Playlo. I
Yeah.
think Playlo.
But
hmm
I do think though how you said Antoine Russell, I actually think Russell's style, bro, he'll run from Russell more than he did De Los Santos. That aggression, bro, and the way Russell come after you, like Shakur not gonna want
hmm
no part of it.
He don't have no power but he will box him.
Yeah.
If you just turn Antoine, Antoine is explosive. You know what I'm saying? He's very explosive. But he come at you one way. He don't come at you no different ways and shit. He come he come at you directly.
Right.
and it's just people don't have the foot speed to pivot. And I think Shakur got the perfect. I think he got the perfect boxing style to outbox Antoine Russell.
Yeah, I can see it. I just I don't know,
Hmm
bro. Like I like Shakur, bro, but I do feel like his resume lackluster, and I do want to see him make a push to fight the best. So him wanting the TO fight, that's good, bro. That's a push in the right direction. But I'm looking at the fact that after Tank Davis, bro, who do you really have at 135 that's gonna make us say, yeah, Shakur's still challenging himself?
That's why he moved up. Cause Tank don't want to fight. He's looking for the big names to pick up. He's trying to be Terrence Crawford. He's trying to be an opportunist, and he's trying to pick off the big names, but they don't want to fight his style.
Right.
No, nobody wants to fight a guy that's not gonna come to you.
That's why I keep telling all these people who, oh man, oh these dudes, they runners and that, bro. The scariest boxing style in boxing history is the fighter that can outbox you and embarrass you. That's the people that people don't want to fight.
Hmm
Nobody get ducked. Nobody get ducked more than a pure boxer.
hmm That's true. 'Cause I feel like you'd be more physical, but feel too fluffy and more. Mm. People think well, and it could be true that Devin is dealing with the law, the knockout and stuff. Um, we got we got to see, you know. I can't answer that until I see what he looked like against Brian Norman Jr. I really can't answer that.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think so because I think PTSD is more than just see when people talk about stuff. You know, it's easy when you talk, you use different analogies, but people don't really think what these words really mean. You know what I'm saying? PTSD means you're dealing with a psychological issue that makes you avoid what scarred you mentally. If Devin was dealing with PTSD, he wouldn't be fighting the biggest puncher at 147.
but it's
He would
more
be
than that,
avoiding.
King. It's more than that. It keeps you gun shy. It's
Yeah,
more that you doubt yourself. Um, you saw what he looked like against Jose Ramirez, right? So, you hear Tim Bradley already being extra and shit, talking about he fucked up, like he fucked up and everything. I was like, bro, what I'm saying? This man is under the pressure that he can't lose this fight. So he operated and won the fight. So that right there is building his confidence, up. You know what I'm saying? He took a year off so he could deal with it mentally, right? That would happen to him. So
yeah. I just think at 147, bro, if Devin really had PTSD and he was scared to get hit hard, he wouldn't be fighting the biggest puncher at 147. He would have took a different fight. I
and
don't
I,
think he having PTSD.
and I think that's why he took the fight. Because he went about it the way a fighter would, you know what I'm saying? So he's going after that man belt, but it happened to be a history between them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what make the fight so damn good. I think this fight gonna be one of the highest, whatever viewership fights. Uh, Not only because it's David Benavidez fighting Anthony Yard, but if you really think about it, you got the little guys that's a little bit more popular than the bigger guys. David
Right.
Benavidez got his following, but really the talk of the fight is David Benavidez versus Brian Norman Jr. They got more of the beef, saying that everybody want to see, how it's gonna pan out rather than
Right.
David versus Yard. So it's kind of interesting
But
that they're on. It should be reversed. Dave them.
that
They
card,
hmm
that card itself, bro, it's gonna be so many of you. Bro, that card got Abdullah Mason on it, Devin on it, Benavidez on it, Bam Rodriguez on this card.
hmm
They're gonna bro, people gonna watch this fight.
hmm
They're gonna
hmm
watch that card, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You know. So if Devin's successful, What you think? What you think that means, and what? And if Brian Norman Jr. is successful, what you think that's gonna mean?
Well, if Devin's successful, I said earlier, bro, if Devin's successful, that put him back on top of boxing where he was. That puts him firmly in control of his career again. He basically gonna be carving out destiny again because he gonna be solidified himself again. Because people don't understand that's a different milestone. That's a whole nother milestone to add to his young, impressive resume. He already the youngest undisputed champion ever. That'll make him a three-weight division champion. And by him being a current champion, you know what the way them belts work is he can challenge somebody at his own weight class or the next weight class if he sees somebody he think he can beat. So Devin gonna be firmly in the driver's seat of his career once again. It's gonna silence a lot of his haters, but it's gonna endear him to some. You know, people who didn't like him at first is gonna endear him to him. But the ones that still hate him, that still puts him in control because because of your hate, you only gonna build the legend of Devin Haney even more because you're never gonna stop talking about him. That's why
Hmm.
Devin can always. People don't realize your hate is why Devin can always come back. People talking about Devin finished. No, you know why Devin was never finished? Y'all hate him so much that his name never died. Even after Ryan did what he did to Devin, y'all kept his name alive. Y'all never stopped talking about him. That's why he was able to come back. People don't realize that's how they work. As long as you, bro, there's no such thing as bad press. As long as you keep talking about me, y'all keeping my name alive.
Hmm. So,
If
so
they
what do
would
you think?
have, oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I
I
was
was
just
gonna say.
saying, if they hated him so much, if they would have shut up about him, then Devin wouldn't have had nothing to come back to. Because see, the reason Turkey wanted Devin to come back, Turkey realized, well, shit, Devin, they never stopped talking about you. So that means if I put you in a fight, it's gonna sell. People gonna come watch it. If people would have shut up about Devin, then he really would have been done.
Right. Right. So now on the flip side, if Brian Norman Jr. win this, what's up?
If Brian Norman Jr. win this fight, like I said, that's gonna be the beginning of the legend of Brian Norman Singles. Right now, people think Brian Norman Jr. is starting his legacy. It's not started yet. Like Brian Norman Jr. is just somebody who made a big splash with a big knockout. He's just a guy that had a big moment. His legacy actually haven't started yet. Devin would be the beginning of his legacy. Beating Devin would be the beginning of the legend of Brian Norman Jr. because you know this because a loss to Devin right now puts Brian Norman Jr. back to where he was in obscurity. He was a nobody before Devin Haney. So
Hmm.
without beating Devin Haney, he's still a nobody. He got to beat Devin Haney to be somebody because you was a nobody before Devin Haney. So, but beating Devin would put Brian Norman in a good position, bro, because he'll have a legend under his resume because Devin is a Hall of Famer. You'll have a former undisputed champion under your resume. You would also be in a driver's seat where at 147, you the obvious best fighter there. So you already got that in your favor. You would be a champion who defended your belt against a legend, and you're the best fighter at your division already. So now you can call shots. Brian Norman Jr. gonna be able to call shots for his next fight. Because unless you a clear A side, you're not gonna dictate nothing to Brian Norman Jr. after he beat Devin. So I think that a win for both of them put them in a good spot. Now a loss for Brian Norman won't be that bad, bro. He can weather that storm way better than Devin can weather the loss. Because a loss to Devin, people just gonna say, well, Brian was still green. Devin had more experience. Brian will come back stronger next. He'll come back stronger later. You know, but again, what I keep saying about the Normans, what they're going to find out is when Devin beat him, they're going to find out that they never had a fan base. All this love they getting, all these people screaming their name and supporting them while he going back and forth with Bill, you're going to realize that y'all never actually had fans. Y'all just inherited haters. Y'all inherited the fans that hate Devin. That's all y'all got.
I'm just fascinated by um how much hate that the Haneys get. I'm just fascinated by it because I mean, usually you have to have something more tangible than just the father talking shit. I'm just surprised by it. It's like I guess with the rise of social media and everything, say you have more and more casuals coming into the space, and they have a visceral hatred towards the Haneys. Like it's almost like they really diabolical or something. And I just don't see it. I mean, yeah, Haney's a little street, a little ignorant, but at times. But you also heard Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford say that Haney was the ones that put it into their heads to for Terrence to go for the Crawford. I mean, to go for Canelo,
Right.
and Ward to go for Anthony Joshua. So clearly Bill has an eye for matchmaking. You
Right.
know, so
And that's
clearly
what
he
make
had.
me believe. Oh, my bad. My bad. Go ahead.
No, no, no. You good? You good? That's
No,
the
I
first
was
thing.
saying I think Bill, like you said, I was just about to say I'm on the same tip with you though. I think Bill got an eye for matchmaking. I don't think that Bill would have Devin in a fight that Devin can't win. So all these people who thinking that Devin can't beat Brian Norman, I don't think Bill will put Devin in a fight that he can't win.
And of course they got history. So when you fight somebody that know you, it's gonna be a good scrap. We saw the Lamont Roach debacle, and saying that man probably against anybody else probably would have lost. But because he knows Tank style, they've been in the ring. Anytime you face somebody you done sparred with, somebody who knows your time and all that shit, and they don't have any fear of what you could do in the ring. Um, it all just kind of came to a crescendo on Tank. Um, I don't know how he underestimated this guy, knowing what he does in the ring. You done shared the ring with him before, so I don't understand what's the disconnect that happened
Talking about with
between
Tank.
and Roach.
Well,
You know
see, the
he
Roach, you know, when that whole build up, that was around the time pool when you wasn't on, you wasn't on on YouTube too much. But I remember that when I first heard Tank was fighting Roach, you know how I'm looking at that. I'm like, bro, Tank cherry picking, Roach ain't this and Roach ain't that. But when I heard Roach talk, bro, Roach looked in the camera. Like, you know how you can read somebody's energy,
right. He
and
looked
Roach,
like he Clubber Lang and some shit.
yeah, Roach was like, "Look, bro, y'all just don't know." He said, "Y'all thinking that this gonna be." He said, "Y'all thinking this fight gonna be one way, but it's not what y'all think." He said, "Man, I'm gonna beat Tank," and he said, "Y'all gonna be shocked." And I'm like, bro, the way he said it, I was like, bro, that nigga meant that shit, bro, and that stuck with me, bro. The way the confidence Roach had, that stuck with me. I'm like, why is this dude? Because all fighters say they gonna win, but I
Right.
felt him, bro. I felt his confidence, bro. I'm like, he really meant that shit, and for him to actually go in there and do it, bro. Roach always knew. Bro, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You know how they say they grew up fighting each other? At some point in them fighting each other, Roach realized that Tank can't beat him.
Hmm.
And I heard you say earlier that Tank is better. That may be true. Tank may be better, but I think it's something about what Roach brings to the table and how much he know Tank. I think Roach know that Tank can't beat him. Like, he might be better than Tank, but Roach know you can't beat me though. You might be able to beat fighters I can't beat, but you can't beat me.
Right. But I think what it is that Tank like Tyson. Tank is like he got the mindset of Tyson. As long as he's on top of his game and he's into boxing, he's hard to beat. But when he's not on his A game and he's not like doing all the little things he need to do to make himself Tank Davis, he's beatable. And I think he knows that there's inconsistencies. Like Errol Spence Jr. A lot of people knew that if you waited Errol Spence Jr. out, that he was gonna self-destruct, that he's not gonna stay in fighter mode. He can't stay in fighter mode too long. And if you just waited him out, that he don't have the discipline to stay like Duran, like what I'm saying, he's gonna eat, and Sugar Ray Leonard found that out about him, that he was gonna eat and make himself big, and he doesn't have the discipline to stay to live a fighter's lifestyle. That's a weakness that some of these fighters have. They don't live a fighter's lifestyle, and if you can't do that 247, and you let your opponents find out about that, they that gives them an extra boost. Because if you undisciplined, if they know you smoke weed, if if you live in Baltimore, you know friends of friends of friends, and they talk. And a lot of people probably know that Tank didn't live the fighter lifestyle. At the, what I'm saying, so he had a lot of confidence coming in because they live in the same community, where people talk and everybody knows what the other see. A lot of this shit get by us because we're on the outside looking in. But these fighters be knowing what these guys be doing. Floyd be knowing when his opponents are running. He knows when they training, how hard they train, how long they train. He be knowing all that shit, y'all. This was surprise. This will surprise a lot of the boxing fans, but a lot of the espionage that goes on into these camps, so they can get the edge, be going on. And I
Tank
think
knew
that.
about, Tank knew about Ryan had that rib injury. Tank
Mm-hmm.
knew about that.
Mm-hmm. 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 A lot of the things that we don't know or we're not privy to on the outside is that these guys be trying to get that inside knowledge, you know, on what these fighters are doing. And I think that Roach knew that Tank wasn't on point just from their circles in Baltimore. They knew Tank wasn't on point. He probably fought Tank and knew that they were close in skill level. They knew they was close to skill level. And you know, when what they say, familiarity breeds contempt. When you familiar, oh, this dude don't hit that hard. Oh, he ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he keep coming with the left. All he got is a left hand. He keep trying to land the left. He frames with the left, and he fakes with. So once they learn you, I think Roach just knows Tank. You know. Now, do I think that if Tank got himself, into to to the if he got into his bag and really trained to beat this guy, I think he would beat Roach. But what does it take to get Tank on that level after he been fighting for a while? It's almost like when you win the championship 6 times, it's hard to get yourself up, what I'm saying, for this guy. And to me, it looked like Tank would want that get back. He just didn't seem to have the passion to get the get back. That's how you kind of figure he's done in boxing because he don't have the desire to get the get back like that. You know what I'm saying? He don't seem like he just want to go out there and prove that this shit was a fluke. He took the Jake Paul fight. And I understand that it's $40 million, but at the same time, Jake Paul ain't going nowhere. It ain't like Jake Paul. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. He win that fight with Lamont Roach. That coming off that win would even be bigger for Tank. What I'm saying, to fight Jake Paul. But he took it as a distraction, and maybe it helped him out because he wasn't in the mental space to be able to face somebody who wants to beat you and train to beat you. Maybe that was good for Tank, so he don't take a L. But like Max Kellerman, did you see Max Kellerman say that he believes Lamont Roach beat Tank? Did you see that shit?
You say what?
Did you see
Max
Max
Kellerman.
Kellerman say that he said that Roach won the fight? He said that shit on air. He said, "I believe you beat Tank," and I was like, "Wow."
I believe he beat Tank too.
I mean, but for somebody like for a major network, for Ring
Oh, I
magazine,
see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I got you. Like, it was shocking that he actually said it.
right? Like, I
Yeah,
believe you beat Tank. I was like, wow. I said they really shitting on Tank like that. But this is the same person that came out of the Mayweather camp and Ring magazine. They really been shitting on Mayweather legacy. You
right.
know, especially Max Kellerman. What I'm saying, he really been on this Jim Lampley type of time. Shitting on Mayweather legacy and stuff. So you know, anything come from Mayweather, they ain't gonna like it. Says both. He says, what she says. Jay says, he says Tank said he was never interested in fighting the best. Says he started boxing to get money. Yeah, that's That's sad, man. That I sure hate it for a lot of diehard Tank fans for him to say something like that. He says, "Bro, I'm surprised Tank didn't jump on Shakur and Devin after Frank fight." Yeah, yeah, but but Tank ain't in it like that, man. He ain't in it for the legacy. So that takes out a whole lot of shit that we believe about Javante Tank Davis. He got all the talent in the world, but he really don't want to test himself. He really don't want to challenge himself. So, and King
Right.
Judah been saying that shit from the beginning. It's funny how people hated you because of that shit, bro.
And bro, I got so much hate, bro. I got so much hate that every time I came on any panel, bro, the first thing I got met with was hate. But I mean, I ain't. It is what it is, bro.
But
I'm not gonna.
me, I always try to leave shit open so what I'm saying? So, you might just be overestimating the shit, but for him to come out like this is put a lot of egg on motherfucker faces, man.
Right.
Oh, yeah, so what's going on, Thomas Hill? Yeah, man, this put a lot of egg on people's faces. I mean, for the motherfucker to come out and say that's what it is. Like, stop guessing. This is what I'm here for. Whew, man. Mm, mm. A lot of
Yeah, they
people
don't
just
want to
have.
talk about it now, bro. It's like
Mm,
I believe a lot of them people. I think a lot of them gonna move on to Abdullah Mason, but I'm interested to see what that fan base gonna be like if they're a fan of somebody like a Abdullah. Bro, Abdullah is the opposite of Tank, bro. Like, so I'm trying to figure out how this gonna work. Trying to be a fan of a Abdullah.
well, Abdullah just got to get better. You know, have you got 12 rounds in yet?
Oh, I don't think so.
I mean, he got to get his first 10 or 12 rounds in. So putting a lot on this kid before he even, what I'm saying, start going 10 or 12 rounds. You know, he's a bad boy, but he got to go them 10, 12 rounds. Then he got to stop fighting some names. So it's still early for him. Richard
So,
said, King Judah, here's your flowers. You predicted this tech stuff. You said you the GOAT. Mm.
man, yeah, I appreciate that. I don't get too much, I don't get too much praise and recognition, bro. But I mean, it is what it is, bro. I mean, my whole thing is this gonna sound like hate, bro. But I'm glad the whole Tank this whole Tank shit over with, bro. I'm glad he leaving boxing, bro. I really am.
But the interesting thing, he had to come out his mouth with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you still got motherfuckers pushing back. Like people don't think that Tank is gonna retire. A lot of people still think that Tank ain't gonna retire after this. So, everybody got their eyes open. This people still concerned about the Jake Paul fight. I said it's not a real fight. It's scripted. The fight is scripted. So I mean, what if Jake Paul go out there and knock out Javante Tank Davis, right? It's not a big deal. This man is almost 200 pounds. It's like, so what if he go out there and beat Tank? It's really not going to mean anything. I mean, this man is 3 times Tank size. He 3 times Tank size. So if he go out there and beat Tank, so what? It's not like he's going to challenge David Benavidez. I would love to see that shit. I would love to see Jake Paul challenge somebody his own size. Go out there and challenge Beaver. Go out there and challenge Arthur Beterbiev. He ain't finna do that, but
Right.
that shit is crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. It's like what you think Tank gonna get beat up by Jake Paul? Well, shit, he should. Shit,
Right.
he's 3 times the size of goddamn Tank. But what's more disappointing It's Tank taking this shit, you know what I'm saying, with the controversy that he's under. So if he do come back, it like I think 2 Cents said that it'll make the fight bigger, and I do believe that because depending on how he come off this fight with Jake Paul, the perception is still gonna be whatever the results of that fight is. And you know, I don't know, Tank just kind of hurt his brand a little bit. He's kind of hurt his brand just a little bit. But I think Tank needed some separation from that shit because when you fighting somebody hungry and you've been at the top for a while and you got somebody hungry that want to take you off the top of the hill, it's kind of hard to get up for that kind of fight. Especially like kind of like Tarver when he took out Roy Jones Jr. Roy had already been on the top, so it's kind of hard to get up for these dudes that ain't got no recognition. It's just kind of hard to do that. And so retro say, he said Jake does this that would break the internet. Yeah, and see, I don't know how he would get so much credit for beating a 135 pounder. Do you know how small a 135 pound is? You could punch somebody through their fucking back. Have you ever picked up somebody 135 pounds, Judah?
A girl, fuck a female.
135 pounds. This nigga gonna probably come in at 200 pounds. That shit don't make no damn sense. He could lift Tank up on the back of his arm. 135 pounds of credit. You right. That shit don't make no damn sense, bro. It's like it's no way. Jake Paul, he ain't even a real fighter. So I don't know. That's why I just kind of, for me, mentioning that bullshit fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. The proportions ain't right. Um, and this is the sad part. They're gonna do more pay. They're gonna do more pay-per-view buys than boxing. That's the sad part. Sad part. They're gonna do more success in that fake fight than boxing doing real fights. What do you think about that, King? King gone. You know. But we're gonna wrap it up right there. We final summons. Damn. Final summary. Jaron Boots Ennis did what the hell he had to do. Um, of course, they tried to hype up Lima at the end to sell the fight. But, y'all boxing aficionados, y'all already know this dude wasn't shit. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad Boots did what he had to do. And we're going to be looking for Boots to fight Virgil Ortiz next. Now, y'all already know how I get down on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I just call it like it is, as it is. Now, no fluff, none of that stuff. So, if you don't get Virgil Ortiz or he fight one of the champions, Boots gonna be in violation, you know. So we're gonna keep it just like that, and we're gonna hold him to the standards that we hold every other fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's got to fight somebody big now. He done had his tune up at 154. Now it's time for him to make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? But look out for my videos, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure you smash that like button and everything, you know what I'm saying? Look out for your boy, you know what I'm saying? And we'll come back tomorrow on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I don't have to pull out on Sunday. But we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. to talk more about what's going on in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see you guys then tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Tune in, full kind of boxing, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate everybody coming through. Smash that like button, you know what I'm saying? And I see you guys in the next live stream, man. Peace out, Retro in the 300. You know what I'm saying? OJ, what's the name? Damn. So everybody going to bed. See you guys in the next one, y'all. Peace out now.